not very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite figure skating podcast, The Runthrough, where we talk about all the things that make us kiss, make us cry, and make us talk about yet another warhorse in our Lore Horse series. I'm not Olympic champion Sarah Hughes. I'm joined by three of my favorite other non-Olympic champions, Ashley Wagner, Adam Rippon, Michelle Ellis. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Thanks for being here for my performance of today's Lore Horse, the Phantom of the Opera.
It's about time you do a performance to Phantom of the Opera.
It is. And do you want to know, I've never seen Phantom of the Opera.
Me
I
neither.
haven't living in New York.
I've heard it enough times.
I really
think I'm good.
had to do a lot of research because I hadn't seen it before.
Wait,
So-
Michelle is
is
in
aghast.
character and she's holding this aghast face.
None of you have seen Phantom of the
No.
Opera?
No.
Not even the movie?
No. There's a movie.
Yes.
We'll get to that. There is. a
You're
movie.
so lucky. Honestly, my parents just brainwashed me as a child. I saw it in person. I've seen it probably 4 times in person. I had to listen to it all the time.
I mean,
Well-
Saw the movie
brainwashed you
theaters.
with the arts?
Yeah, you grew up very
doesn't-
artsy.
Yeah,
What
that
did your
doesn't feel like a
parents do?
brainwashing. That
My
feels like a
parents were
culture.
so into musicals to the point where I don't really like them anymore because I just can't take it. But
Mm.
oh yeah,
I can't take
Dallas summer musicals every summer.
Oh, well, the Dallas versions.
Yeah.
Well, they were
That-
touring. It was touring, you know.
Okay.
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Of
Okay.
course.
That's different than the Dallas Broadway scene, I guess.
No,
Right.
It
I'm
was
just
the touring.
imagining like
Yeah.
like with twang.
Very
I've
good
seen a few of those
impression,
too.
actually.
I actually don't know what the words are because
That's okay. I do now. I listened to
Oh wait,
this-
you were singing Phantom? I
Yeah.
thought that you were doing some southern
She was singing one of the most
Isn't it,
famous ballads.
softly,
Okay.
slowly?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's
Very
it's-
good. Okay,
it's
now
doing it right.
I take it back.
Yeah, thank you.
But you guys are getting ahead of yourselves because the Phantom of the Opera is much older than that, and then this musical
Oh, are we going back to the 1800s?
to 1868.
Hell
The
yeah.
blades were bones.
Let's fucking go. Okay, so in Paris in 1868, baby is born named Gaston Leroux, which I do think is just like a funny baby name.
Amazing name.
Like I,
Yeah, you
I
can't
have
look at
trouble
an-
imagining it as a baby, only an
infant
adult.
child. Gaston.
Gaston Leroux. Leroux?
Mhm.
Leroux?
Leroux.
So he's born in Paris. He has a pretty privileged upbringing, and he goes to school in Normandy, and eventually he gets a law degree in 1889. But around that same time when he's getting his degrees, he inherits a large sum of money. It's said to be millions of francs, which I don't know what that translates to now, but I think it was a lot. And he gambles it all away.
Oh,
So,
no.
His Wikipedia frames this as, quote, he lived wildly until he nearly reached bankruptcy.
Damn. He's like
Okay.
Bruno Mars who's stuck in
Mhm.
Vegas.
Mhm.
Have you guys heard that?
yeah. You were the one who broke the news to
I
us,
did?
think. Yes.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I know. You like to
I
tell
don't
people
know
about
what we're
this.
talking. I don't know.
Oh my
about
god.
this.
Well, apparently Bruno Mars has gambled away so much money that
Yeah.
the only way to pay away his debts is to perform a residency.
Wait, I didn't know that. I
He's
mean,
Adam has
severely
a-
in debt
I
to the different casinos in Vegas.
Yeah.
Severely.
whoa.
And
Yeah.
Gaga wrote that song with him, the ballad that they did last year, to help him make money because
Damn.
Mhm.
she's
Yeah.
a saint.
They wrote it
Oof.
in his jail cell at the Cosmopolitan.
We
And now
need
we
to
call
add
him
in-
Gaston Leroux.
Le Gaston Leroux. Yeah. And so he gambles away all his money and he has to move to Las Vegas to do a residency. That's not true.
The
Yeah.
famous
And that's
strip
the end.
of 1889.
Adam,
And
we need to
so-
get you to do one of those voiceovers, even though this is like gambling addiction is very serious, but we need you to do a voiceover. If you or a loved one are currently struggling with a gambling addiction, please.
I mean, truly, gambling addictions are very scary.
Very real.
They're really
Those are scary.
insidious because, I mean, I read a great story in The Atlantic last month about sports gambling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this
Talked about
guy
it.
who, oh yeah, I did talk about it. Yeah, where the Atlantic gave him $10,000 to basically kind of explore the world of sports gambling, and he ended up addicted to it, like completely addicted to it, and had to like call the hotline at the end of the experiment of writing the article. Like
Especially now because it's like all on your phone. That's just like so
It's too
scary.
easy.
you can do it and you don't feel like the money is going, and then all of a sudden
it's
you don't
fake.
have any. Yeah.
You should
Um,
have to go to the slots.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I went to see the Human League at a casino an hour from my house on Saturday night, and the parking took forever. So I was there like an hour after the show ended. I'm pulling out at midnight in the middle of nowhere to drive home, and there's a line of people in line to pull into the casino after midnight on Saturday, an hour from Sacramento, like
people
in the middle
love
of
to
nowhere.
gamble.
Like
People
people
love to
are,
gamble.
yeah.
And one of
I'm
those
not a
people was
gambler.
Sarah.
One of the
Well,
I enjoy like the like fun of it, but I've never done it seriously, and I think like that's probably for the best.
but
No,
most importantly, one of those people was Gaston Leroux.
Exactly. And so he did the following year, after he goes almost bankrupt, he did what any of us would do if we wanted to make a large sum of money.
Start
He
a
goes
figure skating
into
podcast.
the field of journalism,
So yes,
Yeah.
podcasting.
Yeah.
a famously lucrative profession.
Mm.
That's worse than
Famously.
podcasting.
So for 3 years, he works as a court reporter and a theater critic for the Echo of Paris, L'Echo de Paris, which is an interesting combination of beats.
You
that
could
he's on.
argue that they're kind of one and the same.
I mean, court reporter, theater critic,
hmm
lots of it's a big
Court is theater.
it's a great
Mhm.
Venn diagram. Yes. And these I think like proved to be influential in his later career. So then he does that for 3 years, and then he becomes an international correspondent for a different newspaper, and he works at that newspaper Le Matin for 14 years, and he covers like some of the biggest international stories in the world. He's like he was in St. Petersburg for the Russian Revolution in 1905
Oh my God.
and covered
Wow.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in 1907, after 17 years as a journalist, he leaves his job because he comes home from covering a volcanic eruption and is immediately sent on another assignment without vacation in between. So he quits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sacre bleu!
His lungs were burning.
Europeans really need their vacation time, and I respect them for that.
We all need vacation time.
It's
I think
important.
it's a good, way to live your life. He wants to live wildly.
Yeah. Well,
So-
he has to. He has no money.
Yeah. So, okay.
He's writing songs with Stephanie Germanata in Las Vegas, Nevada.
He's working the CNN beat.
He really was like he's like out
Yeah.
doing like it's crazy. Like I couldn't believe when I read that he had been at the first Russian
I really
Revolution.
can't wait for this to come back to the Phantom of the Opera. Because right now it feels so far away from that.
It does, doesn't it? I'm
Yes.
getting there.
Now, this
Okay,
feels like
so
when Sarah T. Hillman is like swearing in.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That
I
was
know.
crazy. Okay, so let's go on a parallel timeline to what we've just talked about with Gaston's life. So in 1961, which is a few years before he is born, they begin construction on the Paris Opera House, which
1861.
opened.
Wait, 1861.
Sorry, 1861. Excuse me.
I was like, he really was
Question.
working for CNN. Okay.
Has Sarah gone the furthest back in history?
I mean, it might just be that my subject matter goes the furthest back.
I'm
gonna-
surprised that Swan Lake didn't beat this.
1861.
Yeah.
So they start
Yeah.
constructing the Paris Opera House, and it takes 14 years to build, and they open it in 1875. Okay. So it's open in 1875. And 11 years later, while Gaston Leroux is working as a journalist in 1896, the Paris Opera House has an incident. The opera house is to this day known as Palais Garnier, which is named for the architect Charles Garnier, who designed it. The opera house is like extremely opulent. It's a historic site that's still there in Paris. It's iconic in many ways. One of the unique design choices that Garnier makes is to put a giant chandelier in the auditorium. It weighs 7 tons. Okay. Huge. Yes. Okay. And it's controversial that he does this because it obstructs some of the patrons' views of the stage. And it has this like beautifully painted mural on the ceiling that people can't see very well because the chandelier is in the way. Okay. So it's kind of controversial that the chandelier is there at all. On May 20th, 1896, it gets a little more controversial because a fire breaks out in the ceiling, and it breaks the pulley of one of the counterweights that holds the chandelier in place, and the chandelier crashes down and kills a concierge working in the auditorium and injures several audience members.
Okay.
That may sound familiar to Michelle specifically, who has seen The Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Because it is the inspiration for one of the show's most famous scenes of a chandelier crashing down into the auditorium. Okay, so
Not
that
to
actually happened at the
victim
Paris
blame,
Opera House.
But like,
Not to victim blame.
but there's a fire
Where is
on
this
the
going?
ceiling.
We're not even 15
No, it's
minutes
like
in.
it was like in the ceiling, Ashley, like above the ceilings. They couldn't see it. It was like in the attic, basically.
Oh, so they had no idea there was a fire.
Correct. And it
Got
breaks. Yeah, exactly. So the fire breaks out. No one can see it.
Oh, because
And
I'm
it-
like, why is he standing underneath the
No.
extremely
It
heavy
burns
chandelier
through,
with a
like,
fire?
and it burns through one of the ropes that's like
Yeah.
holding the counterweight. And
Yeah.
so that's how the chandelier crashes.
Things used to be made so beautifully and better and a million times worse all at the same time.
Or just
Yeah,
heavier.
a fire broke out.
I
Pretty
think
soon we're going to
things
find
were-
out what really happened.
I think no. I think things were definitely like less fireproofed than they are now.
In the 1800s?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh yeah. They're like, well, why is the hay and horsehair catching flame?
Correct.
Our insulation, our perfect insulation of gasoline, hay, and horsehair.
Yeah, gasoline.
So
I'm
that
gonna light my
happened.
candle in this reading nook.
And then the other thing going on at the Paris Opera House is that it is rumored throughout Paris, for whatever reason, that it is haunted by a ghost. Like, this is like a real rumor in Paris that building has a ghost in it.
Like
Fire
pre or
does
post.
that.
Like throughout, like pre and post.
Oh.
And the like
Pre
rumor.
too?
Yeah, the rumor kind
A
of
ghost.
exists before, but it like takes off way more once
Sure.
the chandelier crashes.
Sure.
Right?
I'm dying to know. Michelle seems to know something that I don't know yet, but it feels like it's in tandem with the opera.
Yeah.
A ghost.
You don't know the story of the Phantom of the Opera, and she does.
Yeah.
So that's probably
I'm
the
dying.
main thing that she's smirking about. I say all that basically to say that eventually, when the Phantom of the Opera is written, it's inspired a lot by these like real events happening around the Paris Opera House, which is its setting.
It's
So
journalism. It's a true
fast-
story.
let's fast forward to our journalist with no vacation time. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that he's quit the newspaper, he starts writing novels, and he particularly like gains fame and fortune, quote unquote, to whatever degree, by like detective mystery novels. And he is kind of known as the father of the mystery novel genre in France. And he's compared to Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock Holmes and had the same effect in the United Kingdom. And Arthur Conan Doyle and Edgar Allan Poe were like main inspirations for him and his writing. So he gets kind of famous writing these like popular mystery novels.
Does he have any novels that like ended up getting translated into English that we would know that like got mainstream enough?
I don't know if you would know them. The one that sounded the most familiar to me was what's it called? It's like The Woman in the Black Perfume or something. Hold on.
He wrote The Mockingjay.
No. He wrote, excuse me, The Perfume of the Lady in Black, which sounded kind of familiar to me.
Yes, it sounds familiar to me too.
Which is a sequel to his first like big success, which is called The Mystery of the Yellow Room.
Yeah, I don't know.
But nothing that I had like felt like was really prevalent in current pop culture.
Yeah, okay.
Big
but
into
it was
colors.
a big deal at the time.
Big color guy.
Big color guy.
Yeah.
So he's the point in all of this is he's kind of famous when in 1909 and in 1910 LaRue publishes a serial story in the daily newspaper Le Gaulois, called The Phantom of the Opera. So it is initially published as a series in the daily newspaper. So he's putting out installments in the newspaper over the course of like 5 months.
Very Charles Dickens.
So people are like reading it. It's like the TV
Very
show before
Archie.
the TV show.
Mhm.
It's exactly.
Riverdale.
And so
This is
it's
how
published-
Charles Dickens wrote all of his novels, and he was paid by the word, which is why his novels are so long, because he'd write these long.
Stop.
Yeah.
They were in serial form. Yeah. So you had
this
to order
is
like
like
a
a
magazine every
common
month to read
way
it.
to
Yeah.
write something.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so it's published from September 1909 until January 1910. And it's very popular, mostly because he's already popular.
Mhm.
It has like mixed actual critical reviews, but it does well because people already know him as a writer. So it's published in this newspaper in like episodic format for 5 months.
Mhm.
And then 2 months after that, it's published as a novel where they combine all the newspaper clips into one book. So like I said, some sources say that it wasn't met with that much acclaim, and some sources say that it was, but either way, it is pretty well known right away because he's already a notable writer. So let's talk about the story of the Phantom of the Opera. Michelle, don't say anything.
I don't know anything.
Adam and
I'm gonna
Ashley,
mute my mic.
I would like for you to tell me what you think the Phantom of the Opera is about, other than a phantom at an opera house.
Okay. There is, to me, it's giving Quasimodo vibes. He's got a mask.
100. You're like stealing it from me. I'm like Esmeralda.
I asked you
Yes.
both.
Yeah, okay, so we can work together. Okay.
Yes.
So there's a woman.
I wanted to have two different stories,
Okay.
but I think we can work together since we're sharing the same brain
It's
cell.
it's
at the
giving us on
moment.
anytime we do a quiz and I say let's work as a team and then we
Okay.
are
Yeah,
gonna break
correct.
off.
And then
All
it's
right,
like, no, I
here's-
said that first.
All right,
I said
this is
it
what I
first.
think. This is what I think. I think that the Phantom, this has always been my impression, and I know it's wrong. It's Quasimodo vibes, but in my mind, I've always assumed that like the Phantom had some sort of learning disability, like dyslexia. And Sarah Brightman was like his teacher, and he falls in love with his teacher.
Okay.
Oh, I think he's a burn victim. Because he
Okay.
has the mask.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I think that the girl's name Rose or something like that.
no,
Stephanie.
Okay.
no.
No.
Okay,
Good
so I thought her
try
name was
on both.
Rose.
Is
Keep
it like
going.
Colette?
No.
She's-
Warmer.
The daughter of the owners of the opera house.
And Ashley, where does this take? In my mind, it's always taken place at Rockefeller Center, like
And in
New
my
York
mind,
City.
it's Minnesota.
Well, that's where everything
I'm being
takes-
No, I knew it was
Serious.
Paris. I knew that it was in Paris.
Okay. All right. So thank you for those.
Mhm.
They
So
fall in love. No, they don't. Wait, they don't fall in love. He kidnaps her.
okay. Anything else
I
you
re-
want to add before I tell the real story?
Okay, yeah, he kidnaps her. It's very scary. She's like, ugh, gross. He's very creepy. He's a burn victim. She's not into it. And then she
It
falls
sounds
in
like
love with him.
the story of Elizabeth Smart. I'm like, what happened to Elizabeth Smart?
Yeah. And then she starts to fall in love with him because she's like, wait, he is kind of like, he has a really soft side. But then it gives a little bit of Beauty and the Beast where he takes off the mask and he's actually kind of a hottie.
No, I
You
think
know?
I think he's really not hot. I think that's a
Okay.
huge problem.
Mm,
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's similar to Elizabeth Smart if Elizabeth Smart had a talent that she wanted to develop and her
Okay.
kidnapper.
All right. Let me tell the story. Okay. This is taking a turn where Elizabeth
Okay.
Smart is like alive and well. Let's leave her out of it. Okay.
Yeah,
She's
bodybuilder.
doing
God.
great.
All right. So this story takes place in the 1880s at the Paris Opera House. There are obviously variations on the plot from novel to film adaptations to the famous musical that we will obviously get to. But the like basics pretty much remain the same, and I'll kind of like blend them together to tell you the story. So the Opera House is rumored to be haunted by a phantom who is actually a man named Eric, who secretly
His
lives.
name is Eric.
I
His name
know
is
that.
Eric with a K. Eric with a K. He lives
Oh,
really?
secretly in
oh
a
my
lair.
God, that makes him feel really MAGA.
No, Eric Adams, the former mayor.
Eric Adams is with a C. So
I'm
Damn.
pretty sure Andrew Lloyd Webber like omitted this from his musical because I've never heard the name Eric.
so his name is Eric, and he lives secretly in a lair near the lake that is underneath the Opera House. And this is also partially based on the real Opera House because it does not have a lake under it, but it has what's called a cistern. It's like a water tank to
Mhm.
like manage like water runoff from rain and stuff. And that actually is under the Paris Opera House.
Oh,
So
cool.
it transforms into a lake for the story, but it's not. So Eric is not a burn victim. He's born with deformities to his face. And that is true across all the adaptations.
So
Although
not a
his
hottie.
Although his backstory varies across the adaptations. In the original novel, he is the son of a construction business owner, and he like helps work on the construction of the Opera House and eventually just like builds a home under there. In the ultimate like musical version, he's like a genius composer who's ahead of his time and just like hiding away. So it gets changed, but it's a deformity that he's born with either way. So a young soprano in the Opera House, her name is Christine.
Damn it.
Ah,
I knew that.
Brennan.
Christine Daae, also known as Christine Brennan.
Journalist.
Journalist. The
She
ties.
begins hearing a voice through the walls in her dressing room.
I
and,
hate that.
and the voice is coaching her singing. He's helping her become better at singing, and she believes him to be the angel of music, which is a story that her father told her when she was a kid, that there was an angel of music.
The
Okay.
dead father, right?
Yes. And she's like,
course,
so
of
she
course.
like links it. She's like, my father died and he sent the angel of music back to help me. And that's
Daddy
who I'm
issues.
hearing through the walls.
Yep.
And so obviously it is not the angel of music, and it is Eric.
hmm
With
So-
a K.
Eric has become infatuated with Christine and ultimately obsessed with Christine in a very unhealthy way. And part of his quote unquote love for her is he wants to help her become a star. And so he's like helping her practice, but he's also like helping her like get roles.
So he's her agent.
He,
Yeah.
he's her agent.
Does she know
He's
that
her
Moving.
agent in the
he
way that,
exists as
that-
a person yet?
huh?
Does she know that he exists as a person?
No, not right now in the story. Like at the beginning, she does not know that he's a person. She literally thinks he's the angel of music.
And I have a question, Sarah. Are you telling me it's an unhealthy relationship, or is
I am
this
telling
like,
you that.
or it's perceived by everyone that this is unhealthy?
It's perceived pretty quickly that this is unhealthy because of the lengths to which he will go even early on to quote unquote help her.
Okay.
So it's like you know immediately that he is mentally unwell in this relationship. He is her agent in the way that Jeff Gillooly is Tanya Harding's agent.
Bodyguard.
Porn star, co-star.
He will harm others to try to help her.
But
in
if,
a misguided attempt to help
Okay.
her.
Jeff Gillooly understood jumps as well as Raph.
Oh, it gets complicated so fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he does. Well, I don't know. I'm not to take this away from you, Sarah, but like in the musical, she really improves under his tutelage, and he instills her with this confidence and guidance, and she does improve her singing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's working. So like at
Okay.
the early part of the story, the main like singer at the opera, she fills in for her. There are variations on why. But like one of the versions, the Phantom actually like fucks with something on the stage, and they're like, oh, everybody is like, oh, the Phantom's here, and the woman gets mad. Her name's Carlota. The woman gets mad, and she's like, I'm out of here. And they're like, oh, okay, Christine can sing the part, okay. And when Christine comes out to fill in for Carlota, her like longtime childhood friend Raul is in the audience to see her sing, and he realizes that he knows her and remembers her. And so he finds her afterward to like ask her out basically and be like,
Aw.
he remembers all these like feelings that he had for her when they grew up together. And so he goes back to like find her, and he hears a voice like that she's talking to in her dressing room. But when she comes out, there's no one else there. And so she tells him about it. She says, the angel of music I've been working with the angel of music. Remember when my dad used to tell us stories about him?
Oh, Christine.
And Raul thinks that she's like being pranked by someone, but he wants to go out with her. And so he kind of just like lets it go. He like indulges her in it and is like, okay.
No. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Now
Yeah.
I was Team Raul. Now I'm annoyed by Raul.
Yeah. So
Well, because
then,
at the end of the day, a dog is a dog. Like,
A
oh
dog is a
yeah,
dog.
sure.
Sure.
The angel. No
Yeah.
way.
literally.
Mm.
So at this point in the story, like she spends a little time with Raul, so they like have a budding relationship. And then she's like back in her dressing room, and she says to the Phantom like she wants him to reveal himself to her. Again, she thinks this is an angel, but she like wants to see him. So he appears to her with his mask on and takes her to his lair under the opera house. And
She goes to his lair.
Yes.
This
in some
bitch is
versions,
dumb.
in some versions at this part he takes her against her will, and in some versions she like follows him through the mirror because she's like curious and wants to go with him.
She's kind of under a spell.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
She's impressed in the
Is
music.
the spell
She's not
called
actually under a spell,
Munchausen
she's-
by
Yeah.
proxy?
like
dumb
yes.
teenager.
So
But,
she,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
She goes back with him
Okay.
by one version or another.
But either willingly or not. It
yes.
depends on the. Okay.
And in most versions, what happens is that he is like playing a piano or playing an organ and like composing music. And she comes up behind him sort of playfully and takes his mask off, like wanting to see him, like like she has asked already. And then she sees him under the mask with the way that his face is. And he is like enraged because he's ashamed and never wanted her to see him, and like feels violated that she did that. And he considers like keeping her there forever. But
Okay.
he decides to let her go.
Overreaction.
But he decides to let her go. He expresses to her like the shame that he feels and how he's just always wanted to be loved. And Christine finds like kind of a pity for him and starts to like, he starts to sort of endear himself to her in this way. And so he lets her leave. Okay. And around the same time, he's writing letters, threatening letters to the managers of the opera house, saying that if they don't let her star in the next show, that the opera house is going to be cursed. And they are like, okay, we are not going to do that.
Oh, it's
So-
not working. Okay.
So they refused.
I liked it as a tactic.
No, I
as
was like,
the-
it's a
at
hustle.
first.
I'm into it now.
I was about to
Yeah.
call my manager and be like, we should start
Threaten.
cursing places.
Threatening.
We should start cursing places.
Yeah.
I mean, it points for creativity at the very least. And so they refuse. Carlota, the leading lady, stars in the show, and she he places a curse on her, and she starts croaking like a toad.
What power
Or, like,
does
her
this man
voice
have
stops
to
working.
curse?
I don't know, but her voice stops working. And she's like that in every version, it's like she croaks like a toad. That's like what it's supposed to be. And so she croaks like a toad, and then the chandelier falls on the audience. And that
On
is
the
like,
audience?
that yes. So that is like where and the inspiration was from the real chandelier fall. But in the story that he wrote, the Phantom makes the chandelier fall as a punishment for them not listening to his threats.
Oh my God.
Mm.
So he makes the chandelier fall. And actually in the musical version, the stagehand who works at the opera house is also found hanged at this point. So like 3 bad things happen all in a row. And so they are, and actually in the novel, the original novel, this guy is found hanged at the beginning before all this stuff happens. And he's like, that's like the impetus for people believing in the Phantom.
Okay.
Got it.
So like it gets moved around, obviously.
Sure. Convenience.
So anyway, so after all this happens, Christine tells Raoul about her experiences going to the lair. And Raoul at this point finally is like, okay, this is fucked up. Like, we got to get you away from here. I'm going to, take you away. Like tomorrow we're going to go away. I'm going to get you out of here. But Eric overhears this conversation and is in a rage
is
and also
Eric.
very heartbroken, obviously.
Mhm.
So this is where like the versions start to diverge a little bit more. That stuff is all pretty close between like novel, film, musical. It gets a little bit more different at the end, but the general idea is that Eric abducts Christine. At this point, he definitely abducts her. So like in the early part when she goes back, it's maybe she goes voluntarily in some versions, but this part he kidnaps her. Brings her to his lair, and Raoul comes after her. And the Phantom like entraps him when he comes down to the lair. And he agrees to spare Raoul's life if Christine agrees to stay with him / marry him. There are different ways that this is told, but it's typically like she agrees to marry him. And so she agrees to do it to save Raoul, and then she kisses him. And that is like this like turning point for him where he's like never felt affection in his life. And so he's very moved by this and is moved to like let her go. And so she leaves with Raoul in all versions. In the original story, he asks her to return to him on his death day. And it's implied that he dies of a broken heart, that he's like, let her go after, she kisses him, and he dies of a broken heart. And she goes back and buries him with a ring that he gave her. In the movie and in the musical, Christine leaves with Raoul, and a mob basically comes down to the lair to chase him down and kill him after he has like done all this, chaos at the
Yes.
opera house. In the movie, he falls to his death. In the musical, the mob only finds his cloak and his mask. So
Mm.
I kind of like that. I like the mystery of that more than the like mob killing.
Well, it goes
There's
more
one-
in
there's one more
line
thing,
with the
though.
like croaking, the like
Yeah.
spell that he was
croaking.
casting.
yeah.
In
Well,
the
there's one more thing.
movie of the musical, Christine, she's died of old age, and there's her like grave with like an angel on it, and then you see a rose left with like a ribbon on it that like makes you think it's from him, like he's still alive.
Oh, he's still out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so like in the
large.
musical, it is left to interpretation what happened to him because they don't find him at the end.
Mhm.
And so I guess that's true in the movie musical. The
Mhm.
movie that I've been talking about a lot is
Mhm.
a 1925 silent film, which is the
Mhm.
most famous movie version of this story. Which actually The president of Universal Studios is on vacation in Paris in 1922, and he meets Gaston Leroux and says how much he admires the Paris Opera House. And Leroux gives him a copy of his novel, The Phantom of the Opera. And as it goes, Universal Pictures president read it in one night and bought it. And once, and he already has an actor in mind to play Eric, who is an actor named Lon Chaney, who's from Colorado Springs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Olympic Training Center.
Yeah, Olympic tie-in.
And so at the time, actors did their own makeup in film.
Mhm.
And so Lon Chaney had the nickname the Man of 1,000 Faces because he was so gifted at doing his own makeup. And
Oh,
he
wow.
had actually 2 years prior to this played Quasimodo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay. See, we're right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very
no, yeah,
Quasimodo.
exactly.
I feel
Okay.
like Quasimodo is like much kinder, less like insidious.
Yes.
But he doesn't have any skills.
Are you
Other than,
bringing
like,
the bells?
Michelle, like, this
ringing the
stuff and
bells, I
body
guess.
strength?
He's not coaching anyone,
Yeah,
That's
Michelle is like,
true.
this phantom is forgivable because he at least nurtures her talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle is willing to forgive anyone who can nurture someone's gifts.
I
Right.
think I'm realizing that right
Hard.
now.
Well, it definitely could be interpreted as like an angel and devil or like two paths laid before
Mhm.
her. If you take the men sort of out of it, it's like Raoul, the childhood friend, wanting her to like run away with him and be with him, and the phantom like encourages her throughout the story to like prioritize her career and be a star.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is sort of like,
Mhm.
so without the extra elements of the story, it could be boiled down to that.
This
Mhm.
makeup Lon Chaney did was incredible. Like,
So-
this is
I wanna look it
not
up.
what I expected.
Yes, so like it has been debated over the years what genre the Phantom of the Opera falls into, but it's somewhere between horror and mystery and gothic romance. The 1925 film treats it as pure horror, basically. So
Yeah.
this is like a campy horror
Oh,
movie.
wow.
And the reveal of Eric's face under the mask becomes known as one of the scariest scenes in film history to that point, and remains among the most famous scenes in silent film ever. The
Whoa.
Los Angeles Times said that the newspapers of the day
Yeah.
reported that
Crazy.
women fainted, children bawled, and grown men stepped outside for fresh air after the unmasking scene.
Wow.
What? I mean, the makeup is amazing.
And he did it himself.
That's incredible.
And I read also that he was using so he put like molding inside his nose to like change the shape, and then he used like nostril hooks to like
Mm.
deform it even more, and sometimes like the hooks would draw blood, but he was like, I have to do this.
That's
He was very
hardcore.
committed
Whoa.
to his craft. Yeah. So the 1925 movie, this is just a fun little fact, debuted at the Astor Theater in New York, which is now the Marriott Marquis Hotel.
Ah.
So that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
And then 2 years after this silent film in 1927, Gaston Leroux passes away. So he dies at age 58 in 1927. The movie is reissued in 1929 with sound, when they are able to put sound on movies. And the success of Phantom of the Opera is said to have inspired Universal's production of several iconic horror movies in the following years after that, which included Dracula, Frankenstein, and The Mummy.
wow.
Mm-hmm. So Universal produces Phantom of the Opera again in 1943. This one strays a lot more from the source material. It was met with mixed reviews, but it did win Oscars for art direction and cinematography. That's in 1943. 5 years later, at Westminster Hospital in London, Andrew Lloyd Webber is born on March 22nd, 1948. Webber grew up in a home where his artistic talent and interests were nurtured and encouraged by his parents. So he attended music school. He has interest in both classical music and contemporary rock and roll and pop music, which ends up being really influential in the works that he does.
Mhm.
And he loves theater.
He sounds like
so-
Michelle. Michelle, why are you not writing plays?
Why don't you have more
I
talent?
mean, I had a lot of musical education as a kid. I just lost interest in it, and I don't know if I was that talented.
Well, it's
but
because no one was talking to you through the walls.
yeah, That's true.
Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber is quoted as saying that my mother wanted me to be a prodigy in something.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I mean,
So,
honestly, same.
yeah.
I mean, your mom did better than mine did, but
So he goes to music school. He he's like nurturing his craft, and his like blend in theatricality and contemporary music interests get him his first like big hit. He's commissioned to write a piece for a school choir in London, that is meant to have religious undertones. And he and his writing partner Tim Rice, they write this, and the school choir takes it, and then they keep going with it after they give it to the choir, and eventually develop it into a 2-hour stage musical called Jesus Christ Superstar.
I was just about to make that joke. I thought it was like too on the nose, though.
It
Okay.
was.
That's so funny.
It was.
yeah.
So this is his first big hit.
And there's a
within
lot
10
of rock
years,
music.
yeah,
in-
within
didn't
10 years,
realize
Jesus Christ
he
Superstar
did
grosses
that.
nearly $240 million in the 70s, which is a ton
That's
of money in the
crazy.
70s. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he loves rock music, to your point.
Mhm.
Like, he's like, one of his favorite albums ever is a Rolling Stones album. Like,
Mhm.
he's like really influenced by that and wants to like bring it to the stage. So
Mhm.
a few years after Jesus Christ Superstar, Tim Rice, his writing partner, convinces Andrew Lloyd Webber to write a show based on the life of Eva Peron. And in 1979, Evita premieres on Broadway with Patti LuPone in the
Mhm.
main role. And that show wins 7 Tony Awards, including Best Musical.
Mhm.
He is still working. So 2 years after that, in 1981, Andrew Lloyd Webber starts writing a show based on a collection of T.S. Eliot poems, and it's called
no.
Cats. I did not know Cats was based on a book of poetry.
Yeah.
I
did
didn't
not
know
know
it
that.
either, but as soon as you said based on a collection of, I was like, this has to be Cats. It's the
It
only
has
thing
to
that makes
be.
sense.
That's why it has like no plot.
Right.
Right.
It's
Because
all
poetry has no
vignettes about
point.
different cats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had that book growing up.
of course you did.
Cats are the like if you had like cats are poems. Like they just
Yeah.
do whatever. They're just there.
And that's
Yeah.
the end of the episode, everyone. Cats,
Cats
are poems,
I
and
could
they're
write
just
about
there.
a haiku about how Ollie's under the bed right now.
Yeah. My-
So Cats
yeah.
debuts on the West End in 1981. It becomes one of the most commercially successful shows of all time. And I mean, we're recording this right now. The Tonys were very recently.
Mhm.
They were last night. And a Cats revival was nominated for several Tonys and won for Best Direction. Like, so it's like still very much in the
relevant.
zeitgeist. Yes.
No, people love cats.
Yep. So all of this setup about Andrew Lloyd Webber, not only to establish him, but is to say that before Phantom of the Opera, Andrew Lloyd Webber, despite all his commercial success, is known in the Broadway community for being kind of silly, kind of weird, doing
Mhm.
like big spectacles, but he's not
Mhm.
taken seriously by the Broadway community.
Insane.
Not?
No. He
Well,
has a
'cause
lot of
he's-
commercial success,
Yeah.
but he's not considered
Because
like
he's not an
artist.
artist, right?
And there's
Yeah.
rock music in it.
Yeah, he's too contemporary. He's doing like big sets and big, like, again, spectacle is the word like that everybody uses to describe his shows. And so they feel like he's doing like more smoke and mirrors than art. So he's not really taken seriously. And so he decides that he wants to write a romance, and he attends a musical performance of The Phantom of the Opera, which most people don't realize it was a musical before he wrote the musical.
I
So,
did not know that at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
neither.
So in 1976, it was adapted as a musical by a man named Ken Hill. It's a completely different musical, like no overlap with what Andrew Lloyd Webber eventually writes. And he actually approaches Ken Hill after he sees the show and asks if he would like to collaborate on a grander version. Ultimately, they don't collaborate, and the
Yeah.
idea kind of stalls. Yeah, so ultimately they don't collaborate. The idea kind of stalls out. He's like not finding the exact right inspiration. And then in 1985, Andrew Lloyd Webber finds the original book in like a clearance bin at a secondhand bookstore for 50 cents. And he's like, you know what? I was thinking about this anyway. It's a sign. It's in this bin. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to read it. And reading the original novel instead of just seeing that musical adaptation provides him with the inspiration he needs. He feels he needs to write a musical.
Wow.
So
God,
he writes.
creative people are so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I guess it's like if you're walking around your life looking for inspiration everywhere, you're bound to find some eventually.
Yeah, in a budget bin for sure.
Yeah.
As long as you have 50 cents on you.
That's all you really need.
Mm-hmm.
So he writes this musical with his wife at the time, Sarah Brightman, in mind for the main role of Christine.
What?
Andrew Lloyd Webber was married to Sarah Brightman?
Yeah,
Yes.
he wrote
I
this
didn't
for
know
her.
that either.
That's why the
Yes.
soprano parts are so hard. They were like in her range.
Yes.
I had no
yeah,
idea.
they were
either.
married at the time.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so he like writes it for her.
Mhm.
And he also specifically chooses a man named Hal Prince to direct this show because he felt that Hal was more of a showman and he didn't want, in true Andrew Lloyd Webber form, didn't want the show to be too cerebral. So he chose Hal Prince to do it. And he stages the first act for a preview audience at his home in 1985. So he shows the first act to like a limited audience to get some feedback. And there was a lot of adjustments made to the music and the lyrics and the staging based off of that before it debuts ultimately on the West End. One of the main pieces of feedback that he got from this early staging was that the audience had trouble hearing and understanding the Phantom through the mask because it was muffling his voice. So the designer for the show, Maria Bjornsson, designed a new mask that only covered half of the Phantom's face, which becomes the iconic image that we all know as the Phantom of the Opera. So in every other
interesting.
version, the Phantom was wearing a full-faced mask.
Yeah.
I was noticing that in the Carney makeup that he has like a
Yeah.
full face mask.
Yes. Yep. And that was true based in all the other adaptations of it.
Wow.
And that's why
okay.
I thought he was a burn victim because it was only half of his face.
I mean, he kind of is in the Phantom, like the musical version. Like that's what it looks like. When she takes it off, it's like the skin's all
Modeled.
Yeah, I think, that ends up being kind of like the deformity would be similar to the way Burns would look, I think.
yeah.
He looks like Two-Face from Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I think having the half mask rather than the full is when it allowed the Phantom to be hot. So like in
Yes.
the Andrew Lloyd Webber
People
adaptations,
still
it's like he's
want
you know
to see a hot person.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Christine's like it starts kind of I don't know making more sense, but
Yeah.
Maybe not that much sense, but a little. Anyway, so it is an instant success in the West End upon its debut in the fall of 1986. So this fall will be 40 years since it debuted in the West End. It makes its Broadway debut in January of 1988 and wins 7 Tony Awards that year, including Best Musical and Best Actor in a Musical for Michael Crawford, who plays Eric / the Phantom. That casting choice actually was considered one of Webber's like biggest strokes of genius because Crawford before this was known primarily for physical comedy and comedic roles. And Webber said that he could imagine Crawford's like gift with physical comedy translating into like the physicality needed for the role of the Phantom to kidnap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody like thought it was like an odd choice, and ultimately it was like a genius choice because Crawford is like synonymous with the role of the Phantom at this point. The original cast recording album spends 3 weeks at #1 on the charts in the UK. Like it is a huge smash hit. Yes. It is still like his other works, like combining this like classical kind of style with contemporary music. So like if you think of what you know about Phantom of the Opera music, you're thinking of like the organ theme, which is instantly recognizable to everyone to this day. And the ballad that Ashley was singing for us at the beginning of this episode, The Music of the Night, which is one of the like multiple like very famous power ballads in the show. And then, he also uses like the rock elements of rock music, usually to symbolize the Phantom's like incompatibility with society, because it's taking place in the 1800s, and he's sort of, it's indicated almost that like the Phantom is ahead of his time, because again, in
Okay.
the musical version, he's like this brilliant composer who's living under the opera. And so anyway, so like the title song, The Phantom of the Opera, is very like rock, and like a lot of rock groups actually covered this in the late 80s and early 90s. And so he also like keeps up the spectacle that he's known for. So he like uses the grand setting of the opera house and the dark horror scenes to bring like these like cool aspects to it. There's at one point like there's on the lake, the fictional lake, there's a remote controlled boat that goes through the lake with
Yeah.
like more than 250 gaslit candles that
Jeez.
mysteriously appear. And of course, a 1,000-pound chandelier falls to the stage at the end of Act 1.
Mhm.
So the set was designed also to like merge the fictional opera house with the actual theater, so that when the characters in the musical are performing operas, the play's audience becomes the fictional audience of the opera. So you're kind of like you're in the opera house with them.
Oh, cool.
And so when the Phantom's face is like dramatically revealed, it's the audience is like part of the drama of like, oh my God. By the
Oh,
way,
now I
one thing
want to go see this. I
I know,
like have
me
too.
never
You
heard
should.
about this ever.
yeah, and well, and one thing I forgot to say about the 1925 film with that crazy makeup is that they did not let the actress see his makeup before this they filmed it. So
she
her
was
terror
horrified.
was genuine, yeah, in the scene. Anyway, so Michael Crawford also in this. Apparently, Michael Crawford's prosthetic makeup took 2 hours to apply, and was so uncomfortable that it caused him like significant facial strain over the time that he played this role. So that's all in the late 80s. In February 2012, The Phantom of the Opera becomes the first Broadway musical to surpass 10,000 performances. In the original Phantom, Michael Crawford attends the 10,000th performance. The Phantom of the Opera closed on Broadway on April 16th, 2023, after 13,981 performances, making it the longest running Broadway show of all time. It still is. It is about 2,300 shows ahead of the second longest running Broadway show. Anybody have a guess?
Les
Les
Mis.
Mis.
No.
I was going to say Lion King, but isn't that done?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
No. Chicago.
Oh.
Right.
Les Mis is the second longest running show in the West End. And Phantom of the Opera is third longest running in the West End. The Mousetrap is the longest running show in the West End. So, but Chicago, and then Ashley, The Lion King is third on Broadway. So,
Well, as
good
long
guess.
as there are Real Housewives, Chicago will not go away.
Amen.
I
Um,
love that they
Stunt
did that.
casting, I do.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. Bethany Frankel as
That's how
mean-
he
Sorry.
accidentally sat in front of Miley Cyrus that one time.
Yes. Oh my God, I remember that.
yeah, I forgot about
And I
that.
tried to tell my husband that we were sitting in front of her by texting him, and then he read it out loud as
Wait.
if he was at a level that it sounded like he was almost like hard of hearing.
Hilarious.
I divorced him on the spot.
Uh-huh.
He's gone. That was
Yeah,
her first
he's-
husband.
Um,
It is still running in the West End if you'd like to go see. I would actually love to see it now too. Like I felt like I was like, man, I really want to see this show. Like I said, it's the third longest running show there. This fall marks 40 years since its West End debut, and it is estimated to have grossed more than $6 billion worldwide. It has run in Japan, in Canada, in Australia, in Singapore. It's toured the world many times over. So yeah, it's one of the most
I've
May
never
I
been
ask-
to
iconic musicals of all
London.
time.
We should go.
I think we should
Oh
go.
yeah, we should go.
We
Can I
should
ask
go.
it?
It's unique in that like you hear all the music from it and it's just you're so sick of it and it's just like oh, but then when you see the production it really sucks you in.
Yeah.
I believe
Totally.
that.
I
But
can
this is
totally
like
see
where
that.
it's like you kind of like music, but then you watch the music video and you're like, I love this song.
100%. Yes.
Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson. Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson, the music video is what made me like a Zara Larson defender. Like
Yeah.
I
Okay.
am holding
even
the
know what you're talking
guns. I'm on
about.
the front lines.
Midnight Sun by Zara Larson is the modern day Phantom
Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
Because
I-
she is
Yeah.
abducting me.
I mean, I
Okay.
didn't really know who she was until Alyssa did that gala program to a
Stateside,
song
yeah.
she was singing. And Zara was like doing everything she could on social media to try and find a way to meet Alyssa.
Mhm.
And yeah,
And it didn't
was sweet.
work. That's
Wow.
why. That's what I love about Zara Larson. Sometimes it works and sometimes it
Yeah,
doesn't work
yeah.
at all.
She has time. She has time. I'm sure
I
she'll
love
hunt her
her.
down at some point.
But yeah,
Wow,
I'm kind
Sarah,
of
that
like,
was amazing.
I kind of want to see it now.
I do
But
want
Sarah,
to see
what
it.
happened in 2004?
I
Shizuka
assume you're gonna.
Arakawa
I
won
assume
the
you're
world
gonna
title.
tell us.
No, they made a American film adaptation of it.
Oh yeah,
With
another movie. I
Gerard
focused on the
Butler.
famous movies.
That
which
was
is
really
19
successful. The
1925
2004
is
one.
the famous film adaptation.
Okay.
It's the
Well,
artistically significant one.
yeah. I mean, yeah. But
No, tell us about the movie. I haven't seen
in
it.
2004, they made an adaptation of the musical, the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, and they cast Gerard Butler as the Phantom and Emmy Rossum as Christine. And this was sort of like Emmy Rossum's big breakout.
This
And
is
Andrew
why
Lloyd Webber
her name
loved
was
her.
Rose in my mind. That's how
Yeah.
my mind works. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But the thing that was like, I think this like, I feel like this film really kicked off this music becoming a warhorse in skating. But the thing was like, Emmy Rossum is as talented as she is. She can't sing in Sarah Brightman's range. So in the film,
Most
she sang.
people cannot.
Yeah, she sang all the songs at a lower range, and so like musical purists and soprano purists, they like criticized her for that. But for figure skating, it's much easier on the ear.
Yeah. Sorry,
And a lot
Miss
of people use
Brightman.
the
Oh, so do not. So is it mostly that version that people use?
Usually.
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about what
Although I
people
will
are-
talk about one performance that used entirely Sarah Brightman, and it is hard to listen to. I love it, but like hearing it like on a skating performance, it's like it's a lot.
No,
a lot.
you really, this is something I don't think a lot of people like think about because you
Mhm.
have never had to when you're listening to something in your car versus listening to something in an arena at full
Mhm.
blast. Some
Yes.
sounds are
Mhm.
really great in your car, and then you put them in an arena and it's like, it just
Yeah.
Yes.
doesn't work.
Sometimes violins can get too
Like
screechy
screechy.
Mhm.
in an
Screechy.
arena
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah.
Like,
But
there's very little things you need to be aware of that like it is something where it's like, well, no, classical music, any sort of instrument works, where it's like not every violin piece does well in an arena because
Mhm.
the high pitch fades out. It's not as sharp, it echoes out. And the same thing can be
Mhm.
said for like when something's too high or too low.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Andrew
thank
Lloyd
you,
Webber was
Michelle. I only did adaptations of LaRue's novel,
okay.
and this is an adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical.
Yeah. But Andrew
She's a
Lloyd Webber
purist.
he was very involved in the production of it. So if you don't have the opportunity to see the show, the movie's like a good way of seeing it. It's like
no,
it's
I
and
need
it's,
to go to London.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously if you
I
can't.
can't
but
see the movie now. I have to go to London. I have to go to the West End.
You can't
I have
finish
no
the
other
episode.
choice.
It's so crazy to me that all three of you have not seen this. I mean,
No.
No.
you're so
This
lucky
is
that
going to
you
be an
weren't
exciting outing for
inundated
us
with
as a podcast.
Yeah.
Also, another tie-in was that Brian Boitano's husband, Frank, played the Phantom on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Okay,
Cool.
great. Love that.
For some reason, I always thought he was like the original, but I guess not because the original is someone else.
Yeah,
Michael
not the
Crawford.
original.
Yeah. Okay.
cool.
Do you want to talk about
thank you
skating?
to
Yes.
Gaston
Yes.
Leroux, and let's talk about figure
Well,
skating.
merci.
Okay. So I feel like in skating, all of Andrew Lloyd Webber's music was really popular in the 80s and 90s. There are lots of different versions of it. One of our favorite teams, Maya Usova and Alexander Julin, had a Free Dance to Variations, which was an Andrew Lloyd Webber album that he put out in like 78, I think. And there was a lot of it, but I don't feel like Phantom itself really became a war horse until the 2000s, and especially after the movie came out, the adaptation of the musical movie in 2004.
High
However,
School Musical, the movie, the musical.
yes, Mean Girls, the
I
musical.
love that play.
I found 2 Phantom of the Opera performances from the 90s that I want to talk about that I think are worth watching for different reasons. But I just want to tell you about them because they, I had an interesting week. So the first one is the
I love that like watching skating performances like completely changes the trajectory of Michelle's week.
well, these 2 will change the trajectory of your week and
Oh.
probably your month.
Okay.
Okay.
Adam, you talk a lot about how you think we need pro skating back. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're going to feel that way
Oh no.
after this, but this first one's an amateur performance. 1994 short program, Maria Butirskaya.
Mhm.
She had a Phantom of the Opera short program that was very bizarre. It started with spooky organ music, and the whole like first minute is just spooky organ music. And then there were like the soprano vocals that Sarah Brightman does that aren't words, but just the like when she's singing the different notes. She has that piece remixed, which is over her spiral sequence. It's very bizarre. I love this weird European stuff. Like this was just very, and then I thought it really suited her skating. This is a young Butirskaya. She had been, she was 4th at these Europeans, but she didn't go to the 94 Olympics because Russia didn't have a spot because Butirskaya was 15th in the qualifying round at 93 Worlds. And so 29th overall, didn't advance, no spot. And I don't know if they had a qualifying competition. I couldn't really find evidence of that, but I feel like she would have gotten a spot because she was much better this season, but she didn't. So then she has the first like 2 minutes of this program, and then the last like 50 seconds are she stops dead at the end of the rink. It switches into this really high energy club music that has nothing to do with Phantom of the Opera,
Perfect.
and does her straight line steps to it. And she had like a
That's the
sleeveless
curse.
top on, and like black elbow length gloves. And this was a fabulous skate. I really enjoyed it.
It's interesting that it's a short program because most Phantom programs are free skates.
Yes.
Because there's so much to work with and like
Yeah.
the rise and fall. Like most of the iconic ones or the most well-known ones are free skates.
Yeah. And then I found this performance by Alexei Ermanov, thanks to
Always.
the
He's
Reddit figure skating
always
community.
here.
Oh
We gotta
yeah.
get
See what
him
he's
on this
wearing.
show
So
to talk
Alexei
about his
Ermanov,
love of a war horse.
yeah. Well, you know what? He's not the most warhorse loving person I'm going to bring up in this podcast. I discovered
You're
somebody
right.
that I feel like we haven't talked about yet, who is like,
You're right.
okay. So Ermanov competed at the 1999 World Professional Championships. He wins this. And I'm going to tell you about his free skate. So he is skating to the Phantom of the Opera for like 4 solid minutes. It's all instrumental, no vocals. And it's like the theme kind of the musical. There's not a lot of changed variety in it. It's just like 4 minutes of the theme. He is wearing, okay, I'll start with this first. He came up with his own story about this Count de Cagliostro, who is an 18th century alchemist. And Ermanov, for this program, made up a story about this Count's work as a magician. And so he has his own story, and he set it to the music of Phantom of the Opera, which technically was set in the 19th century. But anyway,
You're given a story to work with for free.
yeah.
Literally. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to do this.
But he couldn't have worn the costume that he chose for this. So
That's
Yeah,
so
it's-
important.
that's important.
he is in gold over-the-knee boots, black pants with lots of gold accents on them, a red velvet top with huge ruffles down the front, gold accents, a blood-stained white shirt underneath,
I remember
and
all of this.
a hat that's like this, and then it has these, it's like it comes to a point, it goes around the back, and it has these red things sticking up all the way around. And he keeps this hat on. There we go. The whole program. He jumps with the hat.
I
His
remember
20
this
foot-
My
vividly.
This is my scarf from the climb, by the way.
Yeah.
I
where
want
you
to go
got
watch
it.
your performance of the climb again. Sarah mentioned it the other day. There we go. And he has a wand. And he does actual magic tricks in this program.
What do you mean actual magic tricks?
Like actual magic tricks in the program. Okay,
I
so Sandra
remember all
Bezic
of this.
said about the
I rem-
costume. I think figure skating fans like to see all ways of interpretation on the ice, but in order to judge it, the choreography must be enhanced by the costume. The costume shouldn't upstage it. So that's what she says at the beginning of the program. She does change her tune as the program goes on because the crowd loves it so much and he does
because
win.
he starts doing magic.
Yeah. So first he
pulls
takes
a
his
rabbit
wand
out of his hat.
He skates around with the long 20-foot cloth for like a minute of the Phantom of the Opera. Then he lets it go, and then he turns his wand into a red cloth. And so then he has this red handkerchief cloth, and he's just like waving it around.
Another piece of Ashley's scarf.
And in between here, he's doing triple jumps in that hat, you know.
Amazing.
Then he opens up part of his costume, and he pulls out a bouquet of like flowers made of tinsel.
I remember this.
No, that's not the bouquet. That's the second bouquet.
This
is like there's a tinsel bouquet. It's like it pops open and it's got like all these metal like tinsel flowers. He goes over and he literally gives it to a judge, and she's there like gives it to her. Okay.
Okay.
Is this allowed
he
on the pro
skates-
circuit?
You could do whatever you want on the
Then
pro
he skates
circuit.
over to the
God,
boards
that sounds
where his
silly.
mother is standing, his actual mother. He kisses his mother, and
On
his
the
mother gives him a
where?
bouquet.
on the
of real-
lips.
Yeah, on the lips.
A new bombshell has
On the
entered
lips.
the villa.
gives
It's his mother.
she gives him a bouquet of flowers. So that's the bouquet Ashley had. Then she gives
Okay,
him a
wait.
bouquet
Can
of
I interrupt
real
you really
flowers.
fast?
Yeah.
To say that there is a version, the film adaptation
Mhm.
of the Phantom of the Opera, the original, like early film adaptations. There was an element of, like the mom-son relationship.
This is
being
Chance. Sarah, this is
problematic
Chance.
in his
This is
life.
not intentional.
Where in the scene where Christine kisses Eric, he says in one of the early film adaptations, "Not even my mother would kiss me."
Ah.
Full circle moment.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. And you're right, Ashley. It's probably pure
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
Pure
And then
coincidence.
Alexei Armanov said, including my mother would kiss me.
So then he's skating around with a bouquet. He
It's
does a
not over.
combo spin with the bouquet. There are pieces of flowers falling all over the ice.
Honestly, fuck him up. Fuck him up.
Yeah. Finishes, gets off the ice, kisses his mother on the lips again.
Who kisses?
Then she walks him to the kiss and cry. Okay. And he gets they're waiting for his scores. Sandra Bezic kind of is like, wow, to get this kind of reaction from an audience is a first for Alexei. Which is
Oh
so
my
She has to find a way to be like, I need you to know
Yeah.
this isn't right.
Right. Yeah. So while he's waiting for his scores, it cuts to Philippe Candelaro, who already skated, and he's waiting to see what happens. And Philippe
He's waiting
Candelaro is in a
shirtless.
full Braveheart costume. I mean, the
Yes.
brown leather
This is the
top,
goal.
his
Sarah,
face painted blue. And
No,
he was
I
like,
re-
it was really
Michelle,
good.
What are you telling me? This would make me change my tune. Can't you imagine me
would
doing
like this.
magic on the ice and Ashley being in a full Braveheart getup right after me, being pissed off that she's picking up tinsel fucking flowers?
I can picture that.
I can picture it as clear. It's like almost like if I think about it too hard, it will happen.
This has gone too
I-
far. This is too much for me. This is too much. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. At the end of the routine, Urmanov made his wand reappear. He like flipped it out
Pulled
of his
it out
arm
of
and-
his ass.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
his pants.
Yeah.
Look at my wand, Mom.
I don't think he could get them open that quickly based on this costume, but you know,
Wait,
pulls it out of his
honestly,
sleeve.
I did not grow up at all aware of his career, and we have
Mhm.
talked about him 3 times already.
We
Yeah.
have.
I'm really disappointed that I did not know more about his career. Because also, like as a coach on the scene, I have to say he's lovely. Like
Yeah.
he's really, really kind and very like easy to talk to. But like I'm obsessed with his career.
But you know what I think it is? I think that like his Olympic title was a huge success for him, and it made him very popular like in the Russian area.
Mhm.
And his style was so like avant-garde that like when skating really picked up and started touring in the US, that he kind of veered more towards the European shows.
Yeah.
Well, there's another reason for that. His coach,
on.
Alexei Mishin, let
Yes.
him do almost no media in North America when he was competing.
Okay.
wouldn't talk to the press, wouldn't do anything. And as a result, he didn't have as much exposure here and he didn't make as much money here. I mean, he did
Mm.
do this pro stuff, but he wasn't as accessible. He didn't learn English as early as some of the other, skaters, and he just wasn't as available. Compared to the dancers we talked about on Dance Lore, that Dubova had them out front talking to the media.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
talking to them, everybody. Mishin was like, no. And I do think that Mishin changed his strategy with Plushenko because he saw the
Yes.
way it hurt Urmanov, and so he made Plushenko much more available, and it kind of built up his, reputation.
And
Yeah.
I mean, somebody like Saria Bonale, who was doing
Yeah.
interview, who
Yeah.
would say what she was thinking in an I mean,
Yeah.
when I grew up and I first started skating, in my mind,
Mhm.
because of what I was watching and seeing and the performances that were happening, in my mind, Surya Bonale was the greatest skater that ever lived. Because it would be she would
Yeah.
always get a standing ovation. I always loved everything that she was doing.
Yeah.
She would either medal or win at all the World Pro events. And it was okay, there's Sonia Henney and then there's
Oh.
Surya Bonale.
You watched her as a pro, that's why.
Yes,
I mean, if
that's
you
when I
watched her
started skating.
amateur competition, you didn't hear Sandra Bezic talking about her skating skills with absolute disgust.
Yes.
I got to meet Surya in '93 at Skate America. She was outside of the venue, and I'm a child, but I remember she had the most extraordinary eye makeup on. It was silver, and the way she had it painted around here, and I was she looked like a goddess.
No, one
Mm.
of
She was
the
so
best
nice.
skating performances of all
Mhm.
time is Surya Bonale skating to The Lion King. It is. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
I could talk about it to the point of tears.
I don't know if I remember
when she
this.
skates to the
I don't know
oh
what
my
you're
God.
talking
The
about.
circle of life is building up, and she does this is why she's the only person for me allowed
Yeah.
to do a backflip. Where I'm she legally had to in that moment. Mufasa.
There was nothing else
told
she
her.
could do.
No, there was nothing. No, there was nothing. She'd either
Yeah.
have to do the backflip or get right onto the plane and go back to France and never be allowed in the country again.
Wow.
Okay.
I've never seen that. And I honestly had never seen this Hermano program until now. I was done with skating at this point. I was barely watching it. I had
That's
found
crazy. Even my dad
grunge
is the
music.
one who told me about this.
Wow. He did
He was
magic on
yeah.
the ice.
And my dad
That's
liked the
insane.
magic,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. So now I'm going to get into the 2000s programs that had a big impact that came out after the movie, and I feel really kicked off the becoming of a warhorse of Phantom. So the movie came out in 2004, and in the 0405 season, I don't really think there were many high-level Phantom programs. I have our old ABC research drive on my computer, and I searched it, and I really didn't find any bios with it. But the Olympic season, 0506, boom.
Mm.
We had some big ones. Okay. The first one I want to talk about is the Chinese team, Qing Peng and Jian Tong, who had a Phantom of the Opera free skate. They had it for 2 seasons, the Olympic season and the season after. This, obviously didn't have any vocals in it, but they had a lot of organ music in this and the really dramatic runs of music from the soundtrack. And I mean, if you remember this team, they had huge pair elements.
Insane.
Yeah.
Huge. And landing these throws and hitting these incredibly difficult side-by-side jumps to this music is thrilling. And they're huge twist. And they were one of 3 Chinese teams at the time who all had these really hallmark big powerful elements and powerful delivery. This program that they had was choreographed by Sarah Kawahara. She did both of their programs in the Olympic season, and it didn't really seem like they were in characters. They weren't Christine
really
and the Phantom.
didn't. They're wearing yellow, which
Yeah.
is sort of inexplicable. They're wearing
Yeah.
kind of black, yellow, white costumes.
Yeah, they're matching.
Yeah.
I don't know what the significance of the costuming was in relation to the music.
There might have been none. Yeah.
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 I'm gonna go with
It
that one.
does feel
Yeah.
a little that
And
way.
I do feel that was kind of a thing in pairs at the time because Tomiana and Marina did a Romeo and Juliet program at that Olympics, and they were also in matching costumes that didn't look like different characters. It was sort of you dressed alike. And you
Right. It's
interpreted the music.
those two go together.
Yeah, they're matching.
Just in
matching
case they
outfits.
lose each other in a
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Right.
another
On the
woman
6-minute
here.
warm
She's
up.
in yellow.
She's dressed just like me.
Yes.
Have you
It
seen
helped
her?
for our camera people. I mean, maybe they did it for TV.
But that was like a style of pairs
Yeah.
for a minute, because it really went from like man in tuxedo to
Mhm.
woman in dress, and then the style sort of changed it and evolved like into the like 80s, 90s, because you see like
Mhm.
Ty and Randy, and they're both in
Mhm.
like blue,
Yeah.
and I
That
think
had like a
90s,
revival.
2000s, yes, it was like
Yeah.
they're matching,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then now it's sort of evolved into
Yeah. Yeah.
wherever we are
Um,
now.
So this team, Peng and Tong, had an incredible skate of this free skate in Torino at the Olympics. They they were fourth overall. They missed the podium by 0.20 points behind Shen and Zhao. And a lot of people said that they were robbed and that they should have been on the podium. But they then went to Worlds after this, and they won their first and only world title. And then they kept the free skate for another season. And I really recommend watching this because the height of their throws and twists just takes your breath away.
It's crazy.
And it's
crazy.
like I miss Chinese pairs at this level so much. And
Yeah.
Bring
I don't
back
want to.
the chucking. It's like
Yeah.
takes it to another level.
It's so
Yeah.
quick, because when we did pairs lore last summer,
Mhm.
it was so interesting, because when we were asking KMT, I was
Mhm.
like, nobody has ever taken this technique and like
Mhm.
evolved
Yeah.
it, which usually that happens. You know what I mean? Like somebody will start to do something a little bit different when it
Mhm.
comes to like the technique of other jumps, and that will slowly creep its way into the way everybody does said jump.
Mhm.
But with the pairs, this never took off, even though
Mhm.
I'm sure I'm sure it increases the danger a lot, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's interesting.
Yeah. It's thrilling to watch.
It's
and
thrilling.
so at this point, Peng and Tong did one throw in the first half of their program. Like they would do their jump elements and their twist, and then they did a throw, and then they did a throw in the second half. Their throw in the second half of this program is like, so good. But they, as time went on, started putting both throws in the second half of their program, and that's what they did in Vancouver, where they won the silver medal. And it's like to have the whole program go by, and then to do those two big throws at the end, back to back, both so huge and clean.
It's amazing.
I'm getting chills. It was like
I know.
It was
Vancouver for the Chinese, obviously, for
Mhm.
many reasons of like
Mhm.
their multiple podium spots,
Mhm.
but that is just it's emotional. It's
Yes.
so emotional to watch Shen and Zhao and Peng and Tong.
Well, the thing about that is like Shen and Zhao came back for that Olympics, and Bin Yao was like, he wanted his Olympic title. He wanted it. And the way that they drew to skate after the short program, Peng and Tong skated second to last, and then Shen and Zhao skated last. So Peng and Tong skated, went into first place, and then Shen and Zhao took the ice. So like Bin Yao, he had it. China had it before Shen and Zhao even skated.
Yes.
It's kind of sad that Peng and Tong often play like the bridesmaids to Shen and Zhao, but they were right there too. And I think they were kind of in their shadow and don't get their due as much for their just unbelievable power and consistency. Yeah. So also at the 2006 Olympics, we had a Phantom of the Opera free dance in the dance event. And this was performed by Margarita Drobiazko and Povilas Vanagas, the Lithuanian dance team competing in their fifth Olympics. They came out of basically retirement this season to go to the Olympics. They were
to
just
do Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
They had a calling.
Bucket
Yes.
list item.
Yeah.
It was the angel of music.
Yeah.
He called to
must.
them.
It's interesting too, because they kind of felt like people were getting ready for the Olympics, and they were like, we want to too. And they were very inspired by the film that came out in 2004.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Can I say something about this program?
yes.
And it applies to a couple programs, but like I would not want to do twizzles on this like ominous fucking opera theme, which is what the organ, which is what they do, and they're not the only ones. And I am like, I would not be able to do this like nerve-wracking element as the giant organ, scary organ comes in.
No.
I mean, especially Drobiazko and Vanagas had never competed under code of points before. So like this is their first free dance back under the system, and they've never competed twizzles like this. And they did put it.
They've been skating with bones on their skates.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the previous 4 Olympics. Yeah. So So, okay, the first part of their program is Past the Point of No Return, and their film, the free dance has excerpts of dialogue from the film in it, as well as like sung vocals. They really capitalize on using like dramatic lift positions to match the crescendos of the music. I pulled up their bio from this Olympics, and they officially credited their Lithuanian coaches. Their a Lithuanian dance coach, Elena Maslenikova, and this ballroom dancer they worked with, Gintaras Svistunavushis, for the choreography. However, this to me looks like a Spielbahn program, and Spielbahn was working with them this season. And Spielbahn and Zueva recycled this a couple times through this quad. And I want to say, I think blame Igor Spielbahn. I think Nikolai Morozov has a little role in here and Patrick Chan, but I really feel like Igor is the one most responsible for the warhorsification of Phantom. And this was the first really high profile program to it we saw from him. So Drobiosko and Vanegas were 8th going into the free dance because of the double fall they had in their original dance.
It's never good to double fall.
No.
Yeah. Theirs was like
No.
a shocking one too. They were, remember from Dance Floor, they were like crowd favorites and everybody was so excited for them to skate. But this free dance is like, it's pretty good. It's interesting seeing them do the new elements. They use, there's like they bring a lot of the drama and the intensity of the music to it.
And she's in like a wedding dress.
Yeah.
Looking like she's in a white
and
lacy
Christine
dress
has a
that
big
looks...
scene when she's in
Yes.
white like that, where he brings
Yeah.
her down to the lair like to marry him. She's like dressed
Yeah.
in bridal wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But they skated pretty well. They did not get a medal. They finished 7th overall. But Margarita Drobiazko made some comments on code of points at this time because it was new in dance. And she had some choice words. She said, there's no time for nice entrances and exits from the lifts because you have too much time required in the lifts. It looks rushed and untidy. And because of the technical points, the skaters have to concentrate on the elements, counting seconds and revolutions. They don't have time to feel what they're doing and show any passion. There are so many technical requirements that the original and free dances look too much the same. Now dance looks more like pairs. So,
God, I wonder how she'd feel about everything now.
yeah, I mean, she's probably offered some comments on it. She's, living and working in Russia and answers the
Available.
phone. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that Drobiazko would ever like attack skaters in the media the way that like, I don't know, Julin does, but
Yeah.
she definitely would say some nasty stuff about the scoring system. She and her husband were always very outspoken about scoring and yeah. So before we get to the next Spielbahn Phantom, I want to talk about a Nikolai Morozov program in 2006-07 season by Daisuke Takahashi.
Mhm.
Now, this free skate, this is like good. So I pulled his
my
performance
God,
from
yeah.
2007 Worlds. It was his first world medal at home in Tokyo. And the crowd is absolutely rapturous, to the rafters full, screaming. So this program does not have any vocals in it. So they weren't allowed yet. They used a lot of different selections from the musical. It has a lot of movement. You go through like a lot of the different pieces from the musical. Daisuke is in this like velour onesie as usual, and he has an open like white shirt in the front. It's velour on black velour on the onesie, and then there's like white ruffles, and on one side it's like the mask of the Phantom. It was cool. It also
It was
kind of looks like
beautiful.
it looks like a broken heart. Yeah, I mean,
This is
yeah.
the velvet onesie done perfectly.
Yeah. He looked expensive, and he had his very intense like haircuts that he would get where he looks super
Yes.
styled. He almost had like a mullet with sideburns here, but like
Yeah.
in a high fashion way.
It looks on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daisuke was
Daisuke-
hot.
He was. He really got into this character too. He was playing the Phantom. And Dick I
Also,
found
it
out
just watching every time I watch men's programs
Yeah.
from when they did 8 jumping passes,
Yeah.
it always feels like 1,000,000 jumps to me,
Oh,
Yeah.
even though it's only one more. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, this feels endless.
yeah.
Wait, this
He's
costume
gonna jump
is
again.
great.
Yeah.
No, his costume is like I honestly say this as like he is in the last real men's costume.
Mhm.
This
Like even the
podium is
costumes that like
gorgeous.
I would wear or that people wear today are more like they're more like fashion wear meets a
Yeah.
athletic costume, but this is like a costume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also looks incredibly comfortable. Like it looks great,
And
and
they
you know it's so
My
comfy.
velvet costumes, like if I had one at my house, I could easily wear it like Christmas morning. Like good morning, like all day. Like just wipe the
With feet?
crumbs off of it. Yeah.
Little
with
velour feet that you put in.
zipper down the ass.
Very flammable.
Mhm.
Very.
Yeah. So I found the version of this with Dick Button's commentary from our ABC broadcast. I was actually there and worked on this production.
Oh, cool.
Well, I was
got
going
to
to
see
ask
this
that,
live.
Michelle. I was going to ask that, Michelle, because I do want to point out that the graphic on his skate out says Phantom of the Opera. And I just do want to tell everyone it is called the Phantom of the Opera.
I can't control everything that graphics does.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
curious what the research operation was doing at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, but everyone says Phantom of the Opera and is in fact the Phantom of the
Yeah.
Opera.
Yeah.
Just
So you're saying people are dropping the,
yeah.
which
They
would be
drop it.
incorrect.
I mean, we all are dropping it. I'm dropping it.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, no.
I
What
just
Sarah is saying is
was
someone
giving
dropped
Michelle-
the ball, and we are going to move
Yeah.
on.
I'm giving.
I mean, it
Michelle
was
a hard
me.
Time.
I
I'm
was
giving
there. It
Michelle a
was
hard
me.
Time.
Back in the day, we had to go into the truck to check the graphics. And so I
Oh.
probably didn't see that. Yeah. Now we just get a nice Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to read some of Dick Button's quotes. He said, "Wonderful body movement, wonderful edging, and a wonderful triple axle.
Yeah.
Wow.
He gives me chills. He feels every ounce, every note of the music."
Dick got it.
Yeah. And Dick and Kurt both agree that the flow on his landings was glorious. They were so
Yeah.
effusive. I think Dick used the word glorious. And this
He also
skate
used the word
is,
know, as you said. So that's interesting.
Glorious edging.
Well, he's in a velvet onesie. Okay.
I don't know if edging meant what it meant in 2007.
It always
Oh, it
has.
did.
And I just didn't know.
It did.
Yeah.
Or
So
underground.
Daisuke skated the shit out of this
Oh,
program. He had so much speed and power, even like to the very end. He does not let up. And Morozov gave him his like signature, which is this huge dramatic crescendo right at the start of the straight line steps where he stops dead, raises his arms as the music is increasing, and then goes
Yeah.
into this incredible step sequence. I mean,
I love it.
gives you
It's like
chills.
it's like
Yeah.
a beat drop at a rave. This
Yeah.
is the shit that I
Yeah.
live for.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's
Love
the
it.
step sequence is like straight line across
Yes.
the center of the
It's
ring.
so
Yeah.
And it's
good.
so
His
Yeah.
stroke
fast.
sequences
It's
were
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say,
Yeah.
Nikolai season 1 with like every new student gives the skaters like the best stuff that they've ever had.
Mhm.
Some of the best stuff. In the first
Mhm.
like 2 seasons or so, it's just like his creative juices
Mhm.
flow like crazy.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he did his big one with this. It was just very like Yagudin-esque with the step sequence and everything.
Yeah.
It was just awesome, really powerful. He got this huge standing ovation from the whole crowd, and Daisuke is like sobbing as he leaves the ice. It's very cute.
Mhm.
And he won the silver medal behind Brian Joubert, who did more quads than him. So no judgment. I need to
I
go
don't
back
remember it being very because I feel like was Daisuke a bit behind in the short program?
He was like
rem-
9 points behind. I
Okay.
think is
and
what they
he
said in
only
the commentary.
attempted one quad, a toe, and he put his hand down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember it being like I don't remember
No,
it
it
being
wasn't
like the Dennis
controversial at all.
10
Yeah.
losing to Patrick Chan where everybody was like, I think maybe Dennis
Yeah.
should have won. Like it didn't feel
Yeah.
like that. It was just
No.
like great he was on the podium.
Yeah, it wasn't controversial because he was behind in the short, and this was very much Brian Joubert's season. Like everyone was
Yes,
so
I
happy
remember
Brian
that.
finally won a world title with all of
Yes.
his quads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple years later, 08-09 season, Igor Spielborn rolls out Phantom of the Opera again and gives it to his junior team because they are primed to win Junior Worlds this year. And this team is Madison Chalk and Greg Zerline.
Mm-hmm.
This is
And-
a great Phantom.
It's good. So they
Yeah.
start with past the point of no return, just like Drobiazko Vanagas. Similar structure in the program, but it has like more of a like romantic focus. We weren't covering like juniors. Like I didn't interview them this season, so I don't know if Greg was portraying the Phantom or Raul, but he has Raul vibes. You know, he's very gentle And
I assumed the Phantom because he's
Mhm.
in black and
mhm.
because in sort of the like music of the night
Yeah.
portion, which obviously is sung by the Phantom,
Yeah.
I thought like the choreography was good in that like he's like sort of hugging her from behind with
Yeah.
one arm, but with the other arm he's sort of choke holding her. And I thought it was like symbolic of like
Oh,
this
okay.
like unhealthy obsessive
Yeah.
love where he's like
Yeah.
trying to keep her captive. But I mean, I don't know for sure. That's just how I interpreted the choreography.
That's a cool interpretation. I went over my head. I just felt like he wasn't menacing enough or intimidating. He and
Isn't it
Maddie,
amazing to know the backstory of things now? Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I see what people are trying to portray now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like what they're failing to portray in some
Yes.
cases.
Yeah.
No, this program I really like though.
Yeah. I forgot how much I liked Chalk Zerline. They were so well matched and they just really suited each other and performed well together. And they're so like beautiful in this program. Maddie Chalk is just so beautiful. She has her hair all blown out. She's this really pretty dress. For whatever reason, British Eurosport was commentating on this. It was being broadcast.
This is the
and
one I
commentator
watched.
I
Yeah.
think it was Simon Reed, but I'm not sure. I don't think it was Chris Howarth. I don't know if he would say this stuff. It was very inappropriate. I mean, she's like 16 years old and he is just
Yeah, I mean, I didn't listen all the way to the end, but I listened at least until they got into the replays, like when they skated her off. And he's effusive in his praise for Madison.
Mhm.
What
I
is
don't
he
know.
saying?
I didn't
a way that
interpret
feels
it as being
inappropriate.
inappropriate. I didn't interpret it as being inappropriate, but teach.
He was
I don't
basically
know.
saying she's so hot and that's what makes her such a great performer.
He did not
He
say
said,
she's so hot, obviously.
Igor, you've got a star on your hands.
Yeah,
I used to
that's what
prefer
he said.
blondes, but now I think I prefer brunettes.
Okay, that
I didn't hear him say that, so maybe he said that after I turned it off. But most
Yeah.
of what I heard him saying was like, he was saying he had never seen them skate and that she is like a complete star and
Yeah.
that normally he like watches the man a little bit more, but he was totally drawn to her performance.
Yeah.
Is what I heard him say, but he may have gone on down a tangent that he
It got a
shouldn't
little
have
bit
gone
worse
on.
at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. They also had a diagonal step sequence at the end of their free dance that was basically the same. Like the last third of their program was very similar to the Drobiazko program. Like when they were doing the steps on the same piece of music, it suits it really well. So they won their World Junior title here and moved up to senior the next year. And then their training mates, Meryl Davis and Charlie White, who were a senior level dance team, who really were on the bubble. They came very close to medaling at 2009 Worlds. A lot of people thought they should have medaled. They chose Phantom of the Opera for their free dance. And this is going to be their Olympic free dance because this is a team that's like very definitely going to the Olympics. And their interpretation was a little different than Chalk Zerline in that it was very like aggressively athletic. It was less romance and a lot more just open, just athletic power and like the dramatic power of the overture. Was their program was really built around that. And their power on the ice. I felt like their interpretation was very like Anasina Pezrod-esque in the like, we're really going to capitalize on this like really dramatic lift in the music to sort of elevate our skating.
I couldn't tell who Charlie was being either because he wore like a beige shirt. And so I was like, I'm not sure which of the men he's meant to be portraying here.
Yeah.
But either way, I didn't feel like he portrayed a character that much.
No.
Either way.
Whereas I feel like Meryl definitely.
Yeah, Meryl's
did.
clearly doing character work, and he is just sort of like doing the elements. Is how it felt watching it back.
Yeah, agree. I mean, that was a common criticism of them or of him during their career. It is a really
he doesn't really look at her. It's like
it was mostly like they were just utilizing the music to highlight their power because the music is so powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Which
it was like a
works.
power cut. Yeah.
But it works to highlight their athleticism. I don't know if a whole program of that was like my favorite. I mean, now that I'm a purist to the source material, I don't know.
Well, now that we're all purists,
yes,
to be fair,
we all love
because
the original novel.
Yeah. Yeah. So similar ending to the last two Spielbahn programs I mentioned, where they have the same dramatic buildup and they have their diagonal step sequence on it, end it really powerfully. Yeah, and they deliver this with so much intensity or just power, speed, at the Vancouver Olympics, and they finished second in the free dance, and they won the silver medal, having never won a world medal before. So they are on the list of dance teams that won an Olympic medal before ever winning a world medal, and the list is short.
Meryl's dress in this program feels like a little bit of a departure from the way it had been interpreted or the costuming had been done for the woman in these programs, and it's a little like a precursor to Alina Zagitova.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm looking to see whether Charlie was portraying the Phantom. Yeah.
I don't know.
Meryl pointed out that it is not as common in ice dance, and the team hopes to express their feelings to the audience through this music.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. They both traveled with their families to Toronto at a young age to see the stage production, but not together.
Oh.
Yeah. So, another thing about this program is like this team capitalized so much on like speed and like powerful delivery that sometimes the free leg matching was not a focus. And I noticed that a lot watching this, sort of like not really straightening their legs, pointing their toes. They were sort of like, rushing element to element or just speeding element to element. But that wasn't their strength. They focused on other things and were rewarded for it. There was another Phantom this season. It was not a Spielbahn program. It was Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget, who had this program choreographed by Shaylin Bourne, who will come up again soon. But Shaylin and Pasquale Camerlengo. And it was a much less intense Phantom. It had sort of like a very gentle, like romantic feeling in places to it. And they really worked on like the chemistry between the two of them. And Andrew, I think, was the Phantom, and he was sort of doing his like seduction, controlling stuff. I pulled their performance from
it's seduction controlling.
the vibe.
The vibe, influencing. And
Right.
I pulled their free dance from Four Continents. They did not make the Olympic team this year. They lost out on a spot to Vanessa Crone and Paul Poirier. So Phantom didn't really come through for them. I also found Victoria Sinitsina and Ruslan Ziganchin of Russia. They won 2012 Junior Worlds with a Phantom free dance that is very reminiscent of Davis and White in its movement. However, the music was very different. They used like a kind of orchestral opening, just like a softer buildup. But they won the World Junior title with Stepanova Abukin in second, Aldridge and Eaton in third, and Papadakis and Cicerone were in fifth. So really interesting lineup there. And so I also wanted to mention, so this Sinitsina Ziganchin program is to the Andrew Lloyd Webber Phantom, but there is a Phantom of the Opera on Ice adaptation that has its own score, which was written by Roberto Davona. And a lot of Russians skate to this version of Phantom of the Opera. So Slutskaya in 1997, she had short program and free skate to Phantom of the Opera on Ice, the Phantom of the Opera on Ice. And Velocitar Morozov, they had like a big breakout at 2007 Worlds skating to that music. Yulia Lautova also used it. So that one comes up every once in a while. And it'll say like skating to Phantom of the Opera. And then like they're not, but it's usually Phantom of the Opera.
Maybe we
on
should
ice.
go see Phantom of the Opera on ice
I'm
as well.
down. I don't know
No.
if it's smart for Americans to go to Russia right now, but
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I love going there, so I can practice my Russian.
You love going to Russia?
Yes, I'd love it.
That's where we differ.
Yeah.
I don't think I will ever go back to Russia. I would love to see St. Petersburg.
Me
too.
too.
I've
I'm
not been there.
disappointed I never went. I went
Yeah.
to Moscow enough in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really
I
disappointed.
would love to see both.
I feel like Red Square is like something that people should see
Mhm.
in their life. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And, you know, as an American, it's stupid of me to say like anything about surveillance because we're absolutely under surveillance 24/7. But like in Red, there's just something about being in Red Square where you're like, oh, we're being watched.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
feel it.
No, it's
great.
it's fascinating. And like so many Russian things are just so beautiful too.
Yeah.
So much gold.
Yeah. I was very lucky when I worked at ABC. They had a big old budget. And when we went for a cup of Russia, we stayed at the Bolshoi Kempinski Hotel, which is like $700 a night. And it's right across the bridge from Red Square. So you can just walk over to it. And I enjoy that very much.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Alice Cooper was staying in our hotel and I got to meet him at breakfast.
What?
Yeah, it was really cool.
What did you say to Alice Cooper?
I was like, my
love your
dad's
work.
a really big fan of yours. He grew up in Michigan and he used to see you play at his like high school gymnasium in Grand Rapids. And he was like, oh yeah. I remember that.
All right.
yeah.
Those were the
Yeah.
days.
I'll send you my picture with him. Yeah.
I'm
Please.
He was
dying
nice. He
to
took a
see it.
picture with me. Yeah, it was cool. Anyway, okay. So another very, very influential Phantom of the Opera program that was happening around this time was by Patrick Chan. And he skated this in the Vancouver Olympic season and in the post-Olympic season. And he won his first world title with it. This was a Laurie Nickel Phantom. And Patrick was a big fan of Phantom of the Opera. He was first introduced to the music at age 6 when he saw the musical in Toronto. I don't know if it was the same production Meryl and Charlie
yeah,
I was just
attended,
gonna
went
ask,
to
I
this
wonder if-
musical in
but
Toronto.
he saw it in Toronto. And his dad said he was so scared by it, he couldn't sleep.
Oh, well, I was just about
Aw.
to say, is there like an age
It
that
seems
you
like it'd
should,
be
you know,
scary
It
Yeah.
feels like
for a kid.
Yeah.
13, like PG-13 and up, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, if
I
grown
think
men
so.
needed to leave the theater for
For
air,
fresh air.
So then Patrick saw the musical again on Broadway in fall 2009. And that's actually really close to when he was doing his, maybe it was 2008. I don't know, might have been a mistake in the bio, but it gave him new motivation. So then he had it for his Olympic season program, 09, 10. And he said that he is portraying the Phantom and he's really trying to show the suffering of the Phantom, his love for Christine, and his fighting the anger and frustration he has. This was a great
this
program.
is an amazing program,
for
especially
Patrick.
the
Yeah.
second time around. Like, because in the next season he gets a quad, and
Yeah,
it
the
is
2011 version is really
it's
He opened his
phenomenal.
2011 World Free Skate with 2 quad toes. And at the time, like we weren't seeing often 2 quads. I mean, he would, and they were gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he just laid them down and just powered through this program. And it was a great showpiece for his really unique, like really strong skating skills that like no one else could do. And he was doing these very intricate step sequences with so much power.
Yeah.
And I felt like really listening to the music and just really hitting things nicely. Just the combination of his skating and Laurie's choreography and his passion for the music, it all just really like worked together.
But you know, this
beautifully.
reminds me of like at the time it was like we were trying to fight off the quads a little bit of like, no, you could be the best skater in the world without them. And Patrick was part of that like revolution. Like there were these young skaters coming up and people were winning world titles without quads. And Patrick was one of those people where it was like, no, he was being pushed of like, no, like look, not he, but like this, the whole
This generation.
Yeah.
Yes, no quad, but like look at the skating, and then he pulls the rug out from everybody, and it's
The
like
joke's on
Yeah.
you,
yes,
actually.
the
Yeah.
skating stayed just as amazing, but then he added the quad, which
Yeah.
really separated him so far.
Traitor.
Oh
He is
yeah,
a- yeah.
fucker,
Traitor.
motherfucker.
He went to Christy Crawl in between after Vancouver, and she worked with him on the Dartfish, which is frame by frame for timing and jump adjustment, which is like it was so revolutionary then, and now I feel like you just use slow-mo on your iPhone. Like,
Yeah, I was
yes.
just about to say, is Dartfish like still a thing?
No, it was a big thing in 2010. It's
Oh,
like Christy Crawl
yeah.
had it. It's like she had like a secret power.
And it was so basically like what they would do is like they would take like Yevgeny Plashenko,
Mhm.
and they would put him, and then they would shadow your own body on top of the same image. So Christy would like have you go and do exactly the same entrance and do
Mhm.
everything, and you could physically, like, you could
Mhm.
literally see in front of you all the like little differences that
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
Yevgeny Plashenko had in his quad toe versus yours.
It was
So-
actually really helpful.
It's
Oh, yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now you could just do it yourself on an app.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, and she did use Plashenko on the dartfish when she was teaching Patrick his quad toe. Yeah, but his quad toe was gorgeous when he got it, and
Oh, God, it
yeah, he
so
was
beautiful.
with Christy for a couple years after this. Okay, so that was Patrick 2011 Worlds. There was another really nice Phantom this season that I want to mention. It was by Akiko Suzuki in the next Olympic season, 2013-14. And Akiko Suzuki was a skater who was around the senior level in Japanese women for a long time. She sort of like really had a breakthrough before Vancouver, got on the team, and had a really strong quad. But she never won a Japanese national title until 2014. And she was in her late 20s. And she was like, this is my final season. This is my last nationals. And she skated this absolutely dazzling program at nationals. This it was very like unique cuts of Phantom of the Opera that I think was really built around like highlighting her flow and her musicality. She was portraying Christine. She had this beautiful circular step sequence in it. Did I say Pasquale choreographed it? Pasquale Camerlengo choreographed it. Yeah, and it's really nice to watch it because she's so like kind of surprised at the end, like she can't believe how well she skated. And she won her first national title in her last season. She beat Kanako Murakami, who was second, and Mao Asada, who was third, and she won the free
Wow.
skate. Yeah, it's a
I
really
Akiko
love
was an
Akiko.
amazing
I love
performer.
Akiko.
yeah.
Her
I know you're-
she did a circ program that was so good.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just gonna say that's my
Yeah.
favorite Akiko.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Michelle, I know you're going to get to other like women's singles performances of this. I think this one is the best women's singles Phantom.
Second best.
In my opinion, this
'Kay.
one is the best. I watched them all. So
Did you watch the
I
one?
watched all the ones you sent me.
Oh, I didn't send you the one that I'm going to say is the best though. So this
Okay,
is definitely
thank
the
you
best of the
for
ones you sent
setting
me.
me up like that.
I sent you. Yeah, I know. Well, I remembered one and I was like, oh, I need to put this on the list.
She built you up to tear you down.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. I did. Of the ones I sent you, this is definitely the best. The next
a
one.
traitor like Patrick Chan.
Listen, he's a traitor.
Yeah.
He's a motherfucker for doing that. Because I was
Yeah.
like, no, you're right. We don't need quads. And then he was like, sorry, I
Sorry,
got one.
actually.
Yeah.
I got it.
Dartfish.
Yeah. And it wasn't just like, oh, I have a quad. Like his quad was magnificent.
No,
Yeah.
it was like, I have the quad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to
People will
destroy
be
everyone in
dartfishing
this quad.
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. Okay. So the next season, 2014, 2015, we got another woman's free skate to Phantom of the Opera, and it was by Gracie Gold. And
This is a costume that does not make sense.
I mean, the costume the costume doesn't make sense.
It's pretty.
It's
Doesn't
less
make any
painful than the music
sense.
is. So,
Needed the
Gracie
Phantom?
was skating
Yeah.
to almost entirely the whole free skate is Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, which is a song that Christine sings in a very high range. And Gracie used the Sarah Brightman version.
Mm,
Lots
this
of
is the
high
cautionary
note
tale.
operatic singing. And then at the end, she has a little bit of the overture from the Phantom. So, and this was a Lori Nickel program. At Worlds, 2015 Worlds, Gracie was 8th going out into the free skate after some mistakes in the short program. Ashley was in 11th, and both of them went out and did very, very strong free skates and were 2-3 in the free skate. Gracie was second, Ashley was third, and they got small medals, but then they finished 4th and 5th overall and did not get world medals. And, the journalists had a lot to say about it, but NBC was loading its shotgun, did you say? I remember like frustration from my friend that worked on the show. She's like, this is why we can't get skating on prime time. But you know what? We did the next year. Thanks to Ashley.
For Boston, yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Okay. So
The
Grace
favorable time zone is always helpful too.
Yeah. Yeah. This was in Shanghai.
Mhm.
This was Lisa's Worlds. She won
Yeah.
both segments.
Mhm.
Our queen.
God, that was so good.
Our
Uh,
Empress.
our Empress.
Yeah, excuse me.
Exactly.
Gracie skated a really great program here. I think this is one of her like great international skates, or just skates in general. She wasn't totally clean. She did just really solid opening, triple lutz, triple toe, double axel, triple toe, triple loop. And then she did that setup into her triple flip with the like back-to-back toe taps. That was so like what's going on? Like it's so
I
hard.
remember
Yeah.
this. Oh,
Yeah. Big old outside edge flip, and then she stepped out of her triple lutz. She did get an E. Triple sow, double toe, double axel, and she was just like jubilant. She couldn't believe it. Like she hit everything, almost clean. And I remember Simon Reed said, he was calling it for British Eurosport, this is a whole different kettle of fish from the short program.
kettle of fit. What?
Mhm.
That doesn't translate into this culture.
He said it's
Yeah.
the Gracie of old. And I remember our friend Barb
Of
Strain,
what?
who works
the
on skating
year
with
prior?
Right. She's like fresh to the
Gracie of
scene.
old? Like,
us. Well, Gracie had, up and down
well,
performances,
yeah,
and he
but she had
probably
last
only
been
really
up,
saw
like,
her.
a year prior.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
making it sound like it's been a decade.
Our friend Barb told us after this. She said that Gracie skated so well, it made me care about her skating, which I thought was,
I'm not allowed to react to that. But you guys can.
I mean, I do think, like, in Barb's defense, like,
yeah.
Barb is the kindest person of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of us here, and like, but I think it's like there is like moments when you watch a skater's career
Yeah.
where something sucks you in, and you
Yeah.
never know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
It's like,
funny
I
because
don't-
Never know.
it sounds
Yeah.
so cutting, and that
It's-
Barb meant it so wholesomely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds
He is so
worse than it
kind.
is.
Yeah. So I found a performance of this that was uploaded to YouTube shortly after Gracie skated it, and I want to read you some of the YouTube comments that were made 11 years ago
Okay.
about the program.
Okay.
If they ever find some music that Gracie really likes, watch out. She'd make such an impression. If she could just pick not terrible music, she could be a force to be reckoned with. So
and they're all
happy.
from Ashley, which is crazy.
You guys, I'm trying to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be kind. I
Ashley
have to
made
leave in
all
2
these
minutes, and it
YouTube
just so
comments.
happens
Wow.
to be right during Gracie's section.
Okay, we're almost done. I have 2 more comments. So happy for Gracie, but I'm glad I never get to see this program ever again.
Do you think this is mostly because of the app, like the version, like that it
Yes.
just like doesn't sound
Yeah.
good?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's all
'cause-
the sound. I think if she had been skating, because I'll get to someone who does the Emmy Rossum version later, and it is much better all around.
yeah, just easier on the
Um,
ears.
And then the last comment I copied down was she had bad, boring program. Bad, all capital letters, dress. 4 exclamation points. But anyway, she can skate better, more interesting.
All right. Well, you have
Okay.
bad grammar. So
Yeah. I think yes,
Bad
though.
English.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was another Phantom program at Worlds that year that it actually did get on the podium, and it was by Yuzuru Hanyu.
Yuzu wearing the same costume as he wears in every program
Ever.
for everything.
Yeah, it wasn't very Phantom, but it was very Yuzu.
Totally. Yes.
This was like the worst season of his life. He had just a bad year. He hurt his back at Finlandia Trophy in a practice accident, withdrew. Then he went to Cup of China in the same arena and collided with Hanyan. And I mean, he was wrecked. He had like his
Yeah.
head was wrapped. He had blood dripping from his
Yes.
chin. He had
Yes.
injuries to his lower body. He competed anyway. He fell 5 times in his free skate. Crazy.
Oh my
Um,
God. I didn't realize this was all to Phantom.
Yeah. And then at Japanese Nationals, he's had to withdraw from the gala because of abdominal pain. He was diagnosed with a tubal residual disease and had to go undergo bladder surgery and spent 2 weeks in the hospital and a month off of the
My
ice.
God.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that. I
And
was
then as he
focusing
was
on myself, I guess.
Must
yeah,
be
you were
it.
at this event. Do you remember where you finished? 2015 Worlds?
No, Michelle.
6th,
7th.
8th.
8th.
Eighth.
Jason was
6th,
fourth.
7th, 8th. Oh, right. Because Jason and I have a picture of I'm going like this. and
Yeah.
Jason's going like this.
Oh,
4 and 8.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
He got the 3 spots.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
And then Yuzu sprained his right ankle while trying to get back in shape. And so he had to stay in Japan until Worlds rather than going back to Toronto. So he was in rough shape. This free skate was the first one he did with Shaylin Bourne. And this was his first time ever working with Shay. And he would stay with her for the rest of his career for the free skate. You know, he's got Shaylin free skates after this. And Shaylin was very encouraging when he made music choices. She said he's going to be so passionate since he's chosen it, and I would never tell him not to choose music. So she was very encouraged him to develop artistically, and had an important role in the second half of his career. But and I didn't mention, he's having such a bad season. He's the reigning Olympic champion. So,
right. Bad
so
season.
I do think this music works better for men's singles than women's singles because the best ballad in the show is sung by the Phantom character from his point of view. And so I think it's harder to just portray Christine. It's just like on your own. I think it works well with dance teams, or pair teams or whatever, if they're in character. I think it's a great character program for couples or pairs.
I agree.
The women's singles is hard to get exactly right.
Right.
Yeah. So Yuzu is skating to the music of the night. Basically, his whole program is the music of the night, and then there's a little of the Phantom Overture in it. He was leading after the short program, but he opened his free skate with a double sow cow and then a really hard fall on a quad toe. And he got up and looked at the ice after he fell, what the fuck?
Yeah. How could you do this to me?
Yeah, but he really rallied through the rest of the program. He did 2 triple axels in the bonus, skated it well. He went into first place, but then he was defeated by his training mate, Javier Fernandez, who was second in both segments and won overall. And do you remember who won the bronze medal and the free skate?
In
2015.
Shanghai? Was it
We were
Bo
just
Yang?
talking about him. No.
Hanyan.
No.
Patrick?
No.
We were just talking about him?
Yeah.
Dennis 10?
Yes. Dennis 10.
Oh.
Was he on the podium?
He was third.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he won the free skate.
I didn't.
I know. I
always
totally
think of
forgot.
I always think of Dennis's world podium So Cheap.
Yeah.
and not
2013
post.
Worlds, 2014 Olympics. I forget about 2015. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What
was he skating to in 2015, Dennis?
I don't know.
Oh, don't worry. I just
don't
was.
know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Who are you going to tell me is the greatest women's Phantom of all time that you intentionally told me not to watch?
I didn't
So that I
say
would sound
greatest of all
stupid.
time, but definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, Dennis 10 was skating to a long list of music by Laurie Nickel, and I'm not even going to try and read it all.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm sure it was good.
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it was.
We're not there yet, but we have my
Oh.
least favorite woman's Phantom,
Yeah.
and then my favorite afterward. We have one more to get to quickly before that, and it's by a American pair team. Tara Kane and Danny O'Shea.
Oh,
2016
Oh, yeah.
U.S.
Oh,
Championships
yeah.
free skate.
Yeah, they
Another
won.
music of the night free skate, and they won
their national
first
title
and
for
only
that.
national title. So their coach Jim Peterson is a big Phantom fan. It's the first musical he ever saw, and he took them to see it at Tampa's Strauss Center for the
Oh my
Performing Arts
God, I
in January
remember
2015.
all of this. I wrote this bio.
Yes, and quote from Tara Kane.
This is your fault.
The first thing that people think when you say Phantom of the Opera is, quote, "Oh, give me a break. If I hear that again, I'm going to strangle myself." We obviously
Amazing
considered that
quote.
when we were choosing music. We kind of thought, is Phantom a good idea? And we decided, yes, it is a good idea.
Okay.
Danny said, "I don't always have a ton to say about music selection, but this was the first time I had seen Phantom in any form, and it was amazing. It really touched me. I felt strongly we should skate to it, and Mr. Peterson brought us a great version of Music of the Night with Barbara Streisand and Michael Crawford, which we feel is really strong for a pair." And I will say, that this version of it with Barbara Streisand, it really has something different. And it really, it was the first one of these programs where I was like, oh, this is unique. This is different. It kind of has like a unique sound. It's like a different kind of Phantom. Like Barbara brings that like something special.
Mhm.
And this is the first time Jim Peterson had ever choreographed to Phantom of the Opera. This team was known for their consistency, and they loved to land clean elements on the musical crescendo, and they did that in this program. They went down completely clean. Their last big element was a throw triple Lutz right on the music. The crowd erupted.
No, it was really good.
Great.
Yeah,
It
Terry
was
Gannon
really
said
good.
that Jim Peterson jumped higher than Tara flew in the throw.
Yeah, he was so happy.
Yeah. They beat Sameka Kaniro by almost 15 points.
Yeah.
I remember it being like crazy. But they were great.
Yeah, they were really good. It was well deserved.
This team loved a warhorse. I'm going to read you a list of the music that they skated to. Their senior career was not that long. Okay.
True.
Carmen, Les Mis, 2 seasons of Swan Lake, which I didn't mention during the Swan Lake
forgot
War.
about that. Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera, Spartacus, Don Quixote, The Nutcracker, Moulin Rouge, James Bond, Claire de Lune. And then 2 years later, 2 years later in the Olympic season, they didn't make the team, but in the Olympic season, they had a short program, another Phantom short program. And they skated to All I Ask of You.
They did love all the they loved the classics.
I think it's Jim Peterson.
I also think that
it's the Straw Center in Tampa.
Yeah.
But she's pretty theatrical.
She is
as a performer on the ice. So it like these like the Swan Lake or the Phantom stuff, it like suits her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it really helps deliver like these very well-known pieces of music when you have a team that like hits every element. It's very impactful in an arena.
Yeah, you can really choreograph on the music because they won't miss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A couple other quick Phantoms I want to mention that happened during these couple Olympic cycles. That
I love that 4 Phantoms ago, you were like, I have 2 more.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I meant women.
Oh, 2 more women.
Oh, okay. Me. I'll do this really quickly.
I'm not.
No, I'm having the time of my life.
Okay.
I'm not rushing it at all. I'm just the list is endless because everyone has fucking done this music.
I mean, you'll see ghosts when you hear these. Kira Corpy had a Phantom free skate for 2 seasons, 06, 07, 07, 08. I was like working at ABC both of those seasons, and I saw this program many times. Katie Denny and John Coughlin had a Phantom free skate for both the 2012-2013 season and 2013-14 season.
I
it was meant to be their Olympic free skate, but they didn't qualify. So if you're a U.S. pair team, don't skate to Phantom for your Olympic program.
Right.
Or don't skate to like cover music either. You'll get sued.
Yeah, that too. Caroline Zhang had it for her 2013-14 short program. Was also meant to be her Olympic short program. Did not happen for her.
Adam is seeing ghosts.
Yeah. Kanako Murakami in the post-Olympic season after Sochi, she had 2 Phantom programs. Her short program was Think of Me, and then her free skate was a medley with a lot more Phantom in it. These programs were both great. I was like, I don't even remember these. They were good.
I loved Kanako's skating so much.
She had great flow. She was really like easy to watch.
She had a great Swan Lake. Maybe it was a junior year program, but she had a great Swan Lake too.
Yeah. Okay. So talk about another post-Olympic season, 2018-19. The reigning Olympic champion, Alina Zagitova, she had a very rough season after winning the Olympics. Competing this season after you win the Olympics is not easy. But she had a Phantom of the Opera short program. And this program was 2 minutes, 30 seconds long. And it probably had 17 music cuts in it. I think to his credit, Daniel Gleikengaus got probably a snippet of every song from Phantom of the Opera into this program, as well as other sound effects.
Not other sound effects.
She, this is like one thing that, so the program, it has so many music cuts.
Adam's favorite costume she ever wore.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. gloves, like
There was-
enormous breasts.
Too much. Like there was too much of everything. There were too many
Yes.
music cuts. There was too much choreography. There was too much costume. I feel like there's some nice moments in this where you can see that Alina's really trying to emote and do all the choreography. Like she's trying to do it all, but it feels very over choreographed, especially the steps. And like the program is, it can't breathe. The music changes so quickly. So there's a couple different music change sound effects. There's a sound of breaking glass where she comes out of a spin and punches as the glass breaks.
Chandelier.
Yeah. There's a clap of thunder.
Punch. Power Rangers style.
She could have saved that audience member if she had just punched it when it was falling.
If only she had been there in 1896 to save the concierge.
Move, I'm gonna punch the chandelier.
Yeah, there's a clap of thunder. And I mean, I loved her fighting spirit in this program. She really applied herself to this truly terrible choreography. I think this is kind of an example of the tragedy of the skaters from that school, is that they are trying to do so much. They're on the scene for such a short time. They're so choreographed, and you never really get to see them grow into better choreography and like develop their artistry. Because you could see Alina was really trying to deliver this and to put everything into it. It's just that she was given this packaging that was like,
it's just over
cumbersome.
Choreography of every program.
Yeah. She was very emotional at the end of this performance. She went completely clean. She'd had a really bad season, very inconsistent. She skated this program clean, and she spoke afterwards. So she won the short, and then with this program, then she won the free skate, and she won the title. So she got her 3 gold medals at Worlds, her first and only world title.
Because she didn't win the world title right after the Olympics. She fell 5 times.
Correct. Which is what made this even more important, because she had all the other titles. She needed a world title.
Yes.
She spoke afterward about how incredibly hard it was to train and compete this season and to get herself into that shape to that point for Worlds. She said, "No one will ever know how much it cost me." I also remember this season, she had like an ankle injury before nationals, and her grandmother did some kind of like a press on it, like some kind of medicinal press, and she left it on too long, and she had like a chemical burn on her ankle. And competed with that at nationals.
I forgot. Yeah, I kind of remember this.
Oh, I forgot that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this was the last Worlds where we would see Alina. She did compete a bit the next season, but that was cut short because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah.
And this podium was also like, I mean, Medvedeva was not with Tukhtamisha, or it was not with Tutberidze at the time.
Yeah, she left for Brian Orser that season.
But it was 3 skaters who at one point in their career, the top 2, and with Medvedeva had worked with a Terry at one time.
Yeah. Elisabeth Tursunbayeva had been with Orser up until this season when she went to Tutberidze. And Tutberidze like pushed her so hard she got a quad sow. She landed it in her free skate here, won the silver medal, and then I don't think we ever saw her again. She
broke
had
every
such a bad
bone in her
back
body
injury
after.
Yeah. And she talked about it. I thought I saw an interview with her maybe a couple of years ago. She said it was worth it to have basically broken herself to get to that point to have a world medal rather than having a longer career, because she got the medal.
She was also 19 at the time, so she has a little bit of more perspective. Wasn't she a little bit older at 19?
Oh, she had
wasn't
trained
12.
Yeah, in a lot of places. Like she trained with Tutberidze, she had trained with Orser. She'd been back and forth a lot. She competed a lot. She'd been to an Olympics. So
she had an extremely small stature. So she always appeared younger than she even was. Like she always she had a really young face and a really small stature.
So I feel like for her, she has a bit more perspective to be like, I was at all of the things. So too bad about my career, but I made one sort of really big splash.
Yeah. So the last program I want to talk about is Hae and Lee at 2023 Four Continents.
This was amazing.
This is your favorite one.
Yeah, this was really good. And
right.
I think this was the best Phantom program in a long time, thanks to Shaylin Bourne. It was beautifully constructed. And Hae, when she's on, God, she just really performs up to the music. So this was all music from the film. She used a long section of Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, but the Emmy Rossum version, which is like an octave lower. And the combination of that music and her performance to it, it was beautiful.
Mhm.
It was
I love that
not.
you're like specifically talking. I mean, I know she won 4 continents, but like
Yeah.
she got a world silver medal.
Oh, I did. I know, but I want to talk about this Four Continents performance.
It was a
because this was like
breakout.
the breakout. Yeah, this was
Because
like
I
wow.
remember we had just started the podcast,
Yes.
and up until this point, like
Mhm.
I feel like there was a few seasons where I didn't really know
Mhm.
the skaters on the scene. I was still learning them in real time while we were watching the Grand Prix and everything. And there
Yeah.
was just like a crop of really promising good skaters.
Yeah.
And I remember watching her do this program. It was like, oh, I'm gonna remember In Lee. Like I will
Yeah.
remember her.
Yeah. Well, it was cool to see her have such a breakout too, because she was always like coming up in the Junior Grand Prix with like Camila,
Yes.
and she just was always
Yeah,
third.
she was
Like
in the shadow.
you can't be more
always.
than third. And then when she moved up to senior, like she didn't make the 2022 Olympic team. And this season, she like really like broke through with this. This was the Four Continents where she was third at nationals this year, but she
Mhm.
just like had this explosive both programs performances at Four Continents. She had just really high jumps, clean landings. She had so much passion. The last minute of this program is set to Masquerade, which is a group number from Phantom that I don't feel is used that often in these programs. But this was like her step sequence to Masquerade after she'd landed all of her jumps. It was just joyous. She was just really selling it. Yeah, she won this competition, and then
No,
she
you're
went to
right,
Worlds.
Michelle. This was a good Phantom.
Yeah.
right, I
Colorado
forgot about
Springs too, right?
Yes, it was in Colorado Springs. I'm like, you
And
can jump like that in Colorado Springs?
That's what I remember
Uh-huh.
being like, 'cause it was like the energy of the crowd and her like her great like skate. I remember
Yeah.
thinking like, wow, damn, she's skating like this in Colorado Springs.
Yeah. Yeah. Then she went to Worlds and she finished second overall. She won the silver medal behind Cowrie and won the free skate. So she got the small gold medal.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I didn't remember
Amazing.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I forgot that she won the free skate there. I
Mhm.
remember that she had like one of the skates of Worlds though.
Yeah.
I
I think
remember
Adam,
that as well.
maybe you were in Atlanta for that one. We were watching it together, maybe.
I think so.
And that was like I remember us being like, "Whoa,
Mhm.
holy
Yeah.
shit!"
It was like, I mean, it reminded me a little bit of like Ashley winning 4 continents and like in the next, like it changed the trajectory of like how she was perceived internationally.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Wow.
was great. I also remember in her quick quotes from Four Continents, they asked her about how did she prepare for the free skate, and she had a phone call with Yuna Kim, and Yuna wished her well, and that was like an important part of her preparation for the
Of
free
course.
skate. which
It's
was
an
very
important part
sweet.
of everyone's
It's like
preparation.
you win a short program, you get a phone call with Yuna before you do
Yeah.
your free skate.
Honest,
she goes-
that's a great incentive.
Uh-huh.
She goes,
Great
hold on,
incentive.
I'm in the middle of a Dior photo shoot. All the best
Yeah.
for your Phantom of the Opera free skate.
Mhm. Yeah. And after that, I mean, we had that season, Calmura, for part of it, had a Phantom free skate.
Oh my God, a great one.
It was great. It was great. And then he
Cal's style of skating, I could like totally works for the dark
yes,
nature.
it really
of the
suited it.
show.
Cow's skating is like he needs to be some sort of like beast or disfigured person.
Yes.
where it's
Villain.
like
Or a
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
That was
Beauty and the Beast is like the
Yeah.
best, one of my favorite
Yeah.
programs.
This was a Benoit program that Cow did, and he brought it back this season for the Olympic, or this last season for the Olympic season. It was the first of 3 free skates he had in
Yes,
the
that's
Olympic
right.
season. Yeah, but we have a Phantom to look forward to this season, and it's the return of Nikolai Morozov to Phantom choreography. He did a free dance for Leah Nesset and Artyom Markelov.
Oh,
Okay.
And I heard from Justin Dillon that it's a very good program for them. So
I believe that.
I'm
You know who
excited to
I
see
think
it.
would do? I think Zingis and Kolesnik would do a really good Phantom.
They
Yeah.
just strike me as
I mean, they're
people,
with Igor. He's
Yes.
got it. He's got the
I know
choreo.
he's got the
He
steps
has the
choreographed.
CD for
Yeah.
sure. But Zingis and Kolesnik strike me as skaters who like we could throw any warhorse at them
Mhm.
and it would become
they
a
could
great
do it.
program of theirs.
Mhm.
Yes.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah. And Leah Nesset was on vacation and posted on her Instagram story that she was reading the Phantom of the Opera book. So
Oh,
The
Yeah.
same 50-cent book,
yeah,
Andrew
she
Lloyd
borrowed it
Webber.
from Andrew
Right,
Lloyd
yes.
Webber.
Yeah,
Of
Mhm.
course.
She got it in the divorce.
yeah.
Hmm
I know Sarah
Uh,
Brightman should have taken that in the divorce. That's probably
Yeah, I
worth
wonder
something.
where that 50-cent book ended up.
Crazy.
I'm sure he has it on his shelf.
Probably.
Yeah, with
Do you
all
know
the Tonys.
so
Mhm.
that Andrew Lloyd Webber, when he's writing music, he keeps a book of rhymes with him, like to read. Like if he's stuck on a word, he reads rhymes of
that's
like what
smart.
rhymes with this.
That's smart.
It's
If you're
genius.
writing a lot of like Andrew Lloyd Webber doesn't I don't want to say he doesn't write a ton of lyrics, but he mostly is the composer
Mhm.
of the music and then collaborates with like a true lyricist on all of his
Yeah.
shows. So like there's like another person who is like credited with most of the lyrics in Phantom, and that was what's his now I'm losing his name. Hold on. I just had it and I want to give him credit.
Charles Hart.
Yes, exactly. And he was like kind of an unknown. This was like what it was his big break.
Mm. He did a
Charles
good
Hart.
job.
Yeah.
He did.
The book that I was going to say, that the Book of Rhymes, I wondered if it's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot,
Maybe.
which is what Cats is based on.
It could
Yeah,
be. I mean,
it
it
could
could
be.
be.
A cat
Wow.
must have 3 different names.
Hmm He must.
It must.
Also, wait, one more Phantom. I remember Yuna Kim and her All That Skate, her
Mhm.
show in Korea. They had the Korean cast of Phantom
Mhm.
of the Opera come and they performed it as the opening number.
Oh, that's
Cool.
cool.
It was amazing.
Did like you're talking about the company that did the on ice version? I
No,
assume. Oh,
they
so
it, she had
so
like
they just brought the performers to perform off ice.
yes, and they were like on a stage while we did the
That's
opening
cool.
number. It
Yuna
was-
loves
cool.
theater. She's
Yeah,
into
I
it.
mean, yeah, that's why she's
Yeah.
one of the goats.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Her husband is a singer, and who was it this season? Alisa Efimova and Misha Mitrofanov. Which program was it this past season? It was Yuna Kim's husband's vocal group singing, and you could hear his voice, and he's like the really deep baritone.
Has a very low
Yeah.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry,
Amazing.
I didn't know that.
Brain on in summer. Yeah,
Did
I
not
know. I was
that.
giving Terry a note every time we covered them, and he was just like, "Oh, talk about Yuna Kim's husband." I'm like,
That's
"You can
Mr.
hear
Kim
him."
singing.
Yeah,
I would have.
Yeah,
I
that
would have
is-
given him
that's
the note
Mr.
over
Kim.
and over again too. Good
Um,
for you.
Sarah,
Yeah.
what
Yes.
an incredible.
I mean, I wanted to put it in the bio.
Incredible background work on Phantom of the Opera. Michelle, incredible figure skating review. This was
Thank you.
This was amazing. I am really loving the series this year.
It's
I'm
really-
learning something.
It's fun. I feel like I'm learning so much, and like it's making me not feel so like such a dread about skaters doing war horses.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah.
am like I'm gonna know all the stories, and now I'm
Mhm.
gonna feel way more like I can understand what they're trying to portray and like judge it more based on
Mhm.
that instead of just like, oh, I've heard this a million times.
Completely agree.
You guys have
Yeah.
a lot of skaters that listen to your podcast, though. What if they listen to this and then they choose war horses because of it?
Well,
Go
you know
for
what?
it.
If they choose something because they're connected to the original story and source
Mhm.
material, I encourage that.
Yes.
That's
I
how
do
it'll
too.
make it better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the worst war horse performances are the ones like what we're talking about, where like, I mean, Ermanov aside, because he created a new story.
Yeah.
But
He
I think
created a
it's-
Trojan horse.
The ones that I don't like is where it's just like playing in the background and you're just
Yes.
doing
Yeah.
a program to it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
Yeah.
like if you like are connected to the original story and are like doing your best to portray it, whether
Mhm.
it's like fully successful or not, I respect that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
I just looked it up. If you want to hear Yuna Kim's husband sing to skating, it was Efimova Mitrofanov's 24-25 free skate. to Je suis malade. And the group covering it is Forestella. And if you listen when they're skating and you hear the real deep voice, like real deep, that's Una Kim's
That's
husband.
Mr.
Wow.
And that's why they skated so well with that program.
Kim. Okay.
Yes.
Of course. That's
yeah,
why.
that's why they were so good at Worlds.
It's
yeah.
just like Hay and Lee getting a
Yeah.
phone call before the free skate.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Michelle. And thank you, Sarah.
Wow. We will thank you everyone. Thank you, Ashley. We will be back next week with
Another
Another-
lore horse.
the Lore Horse.
Bridget.
Bye.
Bye.